Checking in on fishing real quick before I go to bed. Uh, Probably overshot whales by a bunch. Not that much, 2 levels. That should be enough manta rays to make sure I can catch up in cooking later. So let's go ahead and start fishing whales and just let that go overnight, I guess. I just want to pump mastery into it. That works. All right, catching whales. I'll probably get over 99 in my sleep, but that's fine. All right, let that fishing run overnight. What are we looking at? 102. Okay. So I can technically get the fishing cape, which I think just doubles how much fish you get. I think I'd rather use the fire making cape for now. Don't really need the extra fish just yet. I got the corundumite rod, another rod at 108. I'm gonna be fishing at level 100. I got lava fish, spike fish, and rock fish. I think the lava fish are required for an agility shortcut, so it's probably the one I want to swap to here. 99 mastery on the whale is nice. Yeah, I need these for reasons, so I'll just do the lava fish, I guess. Yeah, I need like 8,000 lava fish total. Maybe less when you consider all of the discounts I get from agility, but I'll get up to 8,000 and then switch to whatever the highest level fish is after that. I guess in that case, I'll buy the fishing skill cape just for this purpose, and then I'll swap back to getting XP. I think I got enough cooked whales from that process to be able to turn this task in, so that's cool. Okay, I've caught like 2,300, which I think with resource preservation is going to be enough to get the ones I need for the agility shortcut. So I'm going to swap off the lava fish and onto the spike fish. Got a couple levels over here. I'm working on the raw blue crab now. Pretty close to 105. I need to double check when does it make sense to switch off the raw blue crab, because I think this is the best XP per second. To figure out what's the next best XP per second. It's a little bit more annoying to calculate for fishing because of the way the interval works. Yeah, it looks like the magma fish is better for 1 level, so I'll swap to that. Hit 106 while I was away. I think that the blowfish is actually even better than the one I'm currently on. Yeah, so we'll just swap to that. I did the math here, and I think that the raw magma fish is actually better for me than the blowfish, just probably because of all of my stacking interval reduction. On average, this should be like 1 XP per second faster, and it gives me a fish that's actually useful. The only use for the raw large blowfish is to make siren tablets, which probably good, but I already have a lot of things I can use to make siren tablets, like the spike fish. So we'll go back to the magma fish here. All right, I got about 5 hours of fishing here. Maybe I switch to a new fish. 109, and it's not till 110 that I switch to a new fish, so not quite time yet. And I'm quite a ways away from 110, so maybe I'll check later this evening. All right, now I'm 110 fishing, and now I can overnight the frost crab. Yeah. Fishing's actually been pretty fast compared to a lot of the other skills here. Once I started working on it in earnest, it's only really been a couple days. Wait, where's the frost crab? There it is. All right, 9 hours of fishing at a pretty high rate. Phone's going crazy. Sorry, bad timing. 113, not quite 115 is the level that I need. Magma eels, frozen manta rays. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I get a better XP rate until 115, so I'll just keep letting the the frost crabs run. Now, I did forget to get the augite fishing rod at 108. That's unfortunate. I could have also immediately gotten a meteorite fishing rod. Oops. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Yeah, it was a pretty substantial thing to forget. Got a little bit of bank cleanup here. I realized I got a bunch of chests that I was holding on to due to a lack of bank space. I've got plenty of bank space now, basically infinite bank space. So I'm just going to go open all of these and get them out. Okay, nothing new there. 637 treasure chests is going to give me a bunch of junk that I can't use, which I'm mostly going to throw out here in a second. These lost chests are kind of interesting. fishing hooks and golden reels and burning reels. A lot of competing items, unfortunately, for fishing. Getting some more candelabras down here if you're wondering what that's all about. Like, let me review. This one is just a chance to get an extra fish, which I don't really care about. Chance to get a cooked version of a fish is kind of good. And then I guess just the regular fishing hooks is also a chance to double. Oh, I probably won't end up using those. But anyway, I still have other chests here. So we've got bird nests I'm going to hold on to because I might do the task at some point. Bandit chests. Worthless. Spider chests, probably going to be worthless. Myelite chests. Basically a full Myelite set. I feel like I'm still probably missing something from that chest. Hold on, what else can roll from that guy? The scepter I don't have. But I've got the boots, helmet, shield, plate legs, plate body, and the spore. So yeah, I would just need the scepter to finish the collection log from that place. Don't think I would use the scepter though. I think it's kind of weak. Pirate booty. Nothing incredible. Elder chest. Oh, ancient dehyde shield, vambraces, and chaps. That's going to be good when I train range later. Cool. I think that's like half the stuff I need from that chest. That's pretty good for only opening 25 of them. And the golden chest just get me a bunch of junk. Okay. And then I've got these bags of coal, which unfortunately coal is completely solved by township, which I kind of think is unfortunate. I mean, it's nice not to have to think about it, but really undercuts a lot of other sources. Big bones. I think this barrel mostly has garbage in it. Rotten fish, stale bread, and compost. And I don't need the trader crates anymore. All right. Chests opened. Still cleaning up my bank. I had to look up what the myelite spores do. I guess I need 10 of those, plus 10 of the fine poison powder that I already got from Slayer, plus the Nature's Call staff. Gets a Nature's Wrath staff usable at Magic 65. 40 maximum hit points, 30% of max at the minute using nature spells. Okay. I think I'm probably close to making the Nature's... Where was it? Nature runes, Nature's staff bottom. I had to double check where to get the top, but maybe that's something I'll go for once I finish all these skilling grinds. There's 115 fishing. I can now do raw ghost fish, and that's going to take me a good chunk of the way there, so start on that now. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot to buy this divine fishing rod, so let me quickly hop over to smithing. I don't need to make too many of these bars, but let me speed it up as much as I can. Scramble to get those 2,500 bars. I'm going to go ahead and buy this divine fishing rod. And I have all those upgrades now, which is exciting. And we're just going to get back on fishing for ghost fish. Equip all the power-ups and get back in cartography to this tile. Okay. And I'm just going to let this run for a while. Oh, if this will actually trigger. Is it going to go? There it goes. Okay. All right, checking out a pretty long session of letting fishing run overnight here. We're up to 118, and I got 120 summoning finally. It was pretty exciting. That was a very, 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 very long grind. Hopping over to the terror fish. I think that's going to take me the rest of the way to 120. I guess I was already pretty close to 119 here. Just pump it as much as I can with my built-up mastery. And then I will, of course, go grab the new superior summoning skill cape, which I think 50% chance to preserve summoning charges, max hit, interval down. Yeah, that's going to be great. I have to actually make tablets. There's fishing 120. All right, we got the access to the superior fishing skill cape now. Just gets you a lot of fish is the whole idea. That was pretty reasonable. We're going to go to cooking now. Hopefully I have enough food to actively get my cooking up to 120. I don't really want to use the crown because this gives me interval, but I will use the crown for stuff that I don't have a lot of banked food for. So I'm going to start by cooking some manta rays here in a second. Also, I went ahead and got some onions. I'm tempted to make chicken soup because I think the XP on it is like really incredible. Yeah, it's way better than manta rays. 1320 XP for 4.25 second interval, and that's without all of my interval boosts. So maybe I just go and run a dungeon really quick, the chicken coop. A chicken coop run for like an hour, get a bunch of raw chicken, and then I'll start working on chicken soup. Let's just do that. All right. Did I get the pet? No. I did not get the pet. It's tempting to stay at this until I get the pet. I did get 2,000 raw chicken, but that's really not enough to do a lot of cooking. So I guess I'll stay here until I get the pet. That seems reasonable enough. I get a decent clears per hour. All right, so right before going to bed, I checked to see if I got the pet from the chicken dungeon, and I didn't. I'm over on like 150 kills or something. So I decided to just let it cook overnight, making all of those chicken soups. So let's see how that did. Wow, 85 to 104. Okay. I also went ahead and passive cooked some manta rays. Mark of the Pig level 6. I got the cooking pet. Chance to double items. And I got a lot of level ups. All right. Well, I need to decide what I'm actually going to continue doing then, because I don't need chicken soup. Still not 95% on this. It's kind of funny. That's crazy because cooking seems insanely slow, but I guess the pot recipes are like busted fast. So I could definitely switch to mushroom soup. I have essentially an infinite number of mushrooms. Is the XP on this worse? 583? My God, it's actually worse than chicken soup. Is it based on the number of ingredients in the recipe? Could do this one is better XP, but I would need to go get more beef. I don't think I have a great way to get lots of beef, unfortunately. I'll start doing it here just to try to get some levels. I think it's literally just farming cows is my only real option, but I'll let this run until I run out of beef and see what I do after that. Oh, I see. The beef stew uses up the mushroom stew as a secondary. That's part of what's going on. Okay. Well, I'm going to switch back to chicken. And then I think, if I recall correctly, I can now do the food box 2 because I'm 99 cooking. Which, by the way, I should go ahead and get the skill cape. Chance to successfully cook, 15% cooking interval. Wow, I've been going without that for a very long time. Just because this is worth so much XP, I didn't realize I was going to overshoot 99 so hard. That's a really significant decrease in interval, too. What I was saying is I think that this food box 2 has, let's see, meat pizza, hearty soup, cherry cupcake, K-fish, manta ray. I guess it doesn't have a secondary for this, but I'm somewhat close to getting another good secondary or getting another item that I can make right away. I guess I could just straight up cook magma fish. If I can get to 106, I can make pumpkin soup, and I have plenty of resources to do that. All right. Now I can also buy cooking upgrade 1 and 2 finally, which, yes, I've gone this long without those. Lets me switch between food piles. Decide what I want to be in my food pile. Definitely don't want that. Must have put that by accident. Probably, honestly, some of this chicken soup that heals a pretty decent amount. So I'm digging around at the other recipes. It looks like spicy chicken pizza is actually more efficient to make than chicken soup. So I'm actually going to switch to that. I guess I should go ahead and pump. I don't need to pump anymore, do I? I automatically have 100% success chance. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's actually a lot faster. Really don't know what governs this. I apparently have 500,000 cooked chicken. I don't have as much raw chicken, so be able to let that go forever. Maybe I'll switch farming to start farming for chilies. Spicy chicken pizza is like 7 mil per hour, almost 8 mil per hour. It's really, really fast. It is kind of burning through my chilies here. I went over to agility, and originally I wasn't going to take anything that reduced my preservation chance, which is everything that gives you cooking interval bonuses. But I figure I have an infinite amount of chicken and pizza slices. I'm just, limited on how much chili I have. But I think this will be enough to get me to 120. especially if I hop to the other pizza once it becomes available. This is really crazy fast. This is, I guess, the reward for waiting to do cooking until this late because I have all of these crazy interval buffs and I have all of these crazy XP buffs, right? 108% XP up from taking basically everything. It feels pretty good. I thought cooking was going to take forever, but because it's been my lowest skill for the longest time, but now it's like stupid fast because I waited until Township was maxed and a bunch of other skills were maxed. There's 113 cooking, which unlocks the fancy meat pizza, which should be even easier for me to make despite being worth more XP. Quite a bit more XP. I think I just make this all the way to 120. So off I go. I guess I'm just gonna max it out here. Yeah, because I'll definitely, sorry, I'll definitely refill my mastery before hitting 99. And it would be nice to have all perfect fancy meat pizzas. At 117 cooking, I get starfruit cake, which I might make, but I think the XP is actually worse. It's like substantially worse. So maybe I don't, and I just eat the starfruit straight up because it would not be worth the time spent. Maybe I'll switch to it for a little bit once I run out of these meat pizza slices. We'll see. Looking pretty good. I'm really close to 120 cooking. I basically got 120 in a day from 85 just because of how powerful the pizza and soup recipes were. Once I get this, I have to decide what I'm doing next. It's actually kind of hard to choose. I could switch to this. It'll require me to make a bunch of meteorite javelins, and then I'll get a reduced interval for smithing, fletching, and crafting. Problem is this minus 20% chance to preserve resources and skills kind of sucks. I might be able to pump to 99 and then have to run agility to get some more mastery to switch back to other things. But I like having, I think the 99% checkpoint is a pretty significant item cost reduction. So I don't know if I'm going to actually want to do that because I think I'm going to be able to get smithing, crafting, and fletching to 120 pretty easily. That's probably the next play though. Probably to finish up 120 in these few skills. I got to go through here and remove everything that's giving me interval reduction for cooking because everything giving me interval reduction in cooking is massively penalizing my chance to preserve, which I don't want anymore. So that's probably what's going to happen once I hit cooking 120. I should have enough food to last me forever. Probably show off my final spreadsheet at the end of this playthrough, but I have a spreadsheet that I use to calculate all sorts of things like, you know, how long I can idle, how much food I'm going to use, how much food I have, and how much it's going to heal for, even if it's capped. And I have like 5 billion potential HP worth of healing across all of the different kinds of food I made in this grind. So we should be set basically forever. I did run out of some secondaries for fancy meat pizza, so I'm having to finish it off here with spicy chicken pizza, but that should be fine. Hey, there's 120 cooking. And now I'll cook master sharks. Okay, so let's buy the skill cape, which is a pretty big interval reduction in case I ever come back to cooking, which I don't know that I will. Hopefully I have enough stuff that I never will have to, although the interval is crazy short now. That's pretty cool. And then without changing too much in agility, I'm going to get rid of the cooking interval stuff, but I guess I'm just going to level something overnight. Ooh, this is the reason I didn't finish smithing, fletching, and crafting was because of not having the resources to do stuff overnight is the danger, right? I could do meteor javelin heads, I suppose. I'm going to need a bunch of those anyway. Don't think I have enough divine bars to safely overnight. Oh, I have 56 divine bars. But I have so many javelin heads, I think I can safely let this go. And that should get me a bunch of smithing XP. So I'm going to move around on the map, get somewhere a little bit more reasonable, and then I'll just let this run, I guess. Okay. Okay, so the problem now actually is that I have so much XP. The XP rates for all three of these skills is so fast that if I let any of them run overnight, I probably will overshoot 120, which I really want to avoid. I think that means I have to run Runecraft, which is fine. It's, I guess, poetic that it's the last skilling skill that I do. I guess I'll let that run overnight, and then during the day before stream in the mornings, I'll run these until they hit 120. I think it's just lava runes until I get to 100, and then I'll swap to something else. I may as well just do that. I think up here is probably fine. Yeah, we'll just do lava runes. That is cool, and I'll pop over to cartography. One of these things is runecraft interval. Here it is. Okay, here we go. I had to check my XP rate for runecraft if you're just coming out of cooking with 8 million per hour. So 500k per hour is still pretty friggin' respectable compared to like old school RuneScape. I'm like jaded now, but hopefully that's enough to get to 99 by the time I wake up. That's like 500k. If I don't sign in for, I don't think it's quite gonna get me there. I think I'm gonna be short. Well, all right. Well, I can let it run in the morning, or I can just save it for another overnight with the lava runes. But I don't think I'm gonna get it. We'll try to finish up these last 4 skills, and then it's PVM time. I got nothing to do but PVM after that, which is pretty exciting. I enjoy PVM a lot in Melvor, and part of the reason I haven't been doing it is that I want to make sure that I'm as like set up for it as conceivably possible. Yeah, I think once I finish this grind and these last few skills, I'll probably do ranged because I have the gear for range, right? I have like 3 Eris pieces, which is pretty good. And I could use that to do the water dungeon and then get magic gear and then level up magic and all that fun stuff. So I think that's ultimately going to be the objective. But let me clean up these last few 120s. All right, checking out an overnight. We're at 97 runecraft. So as expected, not quite to 99 or 100 even. It would be a great level threshold. I am at the 95% checkpoint though, so that's nice. It gets me a whole bunch of extra runes. Guess I want to just clear out some of the other grinds that I'm working on, and then I can leave runecraft for overnighting. So I'm going to do these elderwood bodies. That should get me to 120 crafting pretty quick. But I have to go. Where's the crafting? Here now it's mining and woodcutting. I never remember which one it is. Crafting and fletching. Yeah, here we go. Elderwood bodies. I should have harvested enough of these from farming that this should be relatively quick and painless. I hope anyway. I'm popping around these 3 skills here, but I'm really close to just being done with smithing. So I'm going to go ahead and get 120 smithing and then crafting, maybe? I have a doctor's appointment coming up. I can't record during my telehealth visit. So if I get really close to 120 crafting, I'll click off of it and do fletching, I guess. I don't know. There we go. 120 smithing. I can now get the superior smithing skill cape. Let's see how quickly I can burn through 120 crafting. That was pretty quick. 120 crafting. Let's do fletching now. I'm going to do divine arrows to start at least. You try to maximize my preservation chance here. Buying the crafting and smithing superior skill capes, which I guess the crafting one's useful if I have to go back and like make bags or something later. Fletching one's not as useful though. Or the smithing one's not very useful. All right, checking in on fletching here. We got to 118 running Corundrum arrows. I'm just doing that because that's what I have a lot of. Might need to make some more headless. I probably can't let fletching run overnight. I'm probably either going to overshoot. I definitely will overshoot and maybe even run out of resources. So I'm likely going to overnight runecraft here. Should get me past 99, I think. Just checking the Z-Fight bolts are okay XP, but probably not worth the very limited number of Z-Fights that I have. So I'll just get back on Divine Arrows for a little bit, and then when I go to bed, I'll switch to Runecraft. All right, overnighted Runecraft again. I am past 100 now. I'm at 101. So we should get the cape, which I don't know if it's any good for Runecraft, is it? Against the double items, extra quantity of runes gained. Probably not. So now I can make poison runes. Requires pure essence, which I don't have very much of. So I guess I'll start that. It is better XP than combination runes, finally. But I'm gonna have to go mine for pure essence for a while, so maybe I'll bounce out and do that here shortly. I'm gonna have to find some time to sit back and just let pure essence run for like hours, but this should be enough to sustain me for a little bit more runecraft here. I'm gonna get back onto it. All right, at 102 runecraft, I can do decay runes now, so I'm just gonna switch to that. Some of these are a little concerning because I don't really think if some of these are going to require the lower tier runes, I'm going to have to make more of them in order to continue rune crafting. With the elemental runes, the elemental potion makes more than I consume. Hopefully, though, I mean, here I should be fine on body runes and mind runes, right? I've got a lifetime supply of those, but maybe some of the later ones are going to have to go back and make the lower tier runes. We'll see. All right, so I did a 10-hour stream today, so I've been rune crafting decay runes, which maybe isn't the best thing to be doing, because I want to make some of these other ones eventually. I probably should get some more pure essence before I go too hard on anything else, so I'm gonna do some pure essence mining. All right, let it run until I got 108 runecraft. I'm gonna let soul runes run overnight. I think I can get away with that. I can't. I don't have anywhere near enough spirit runes. Shit. I'll make a bunch of spirit runes, I guess, so that I have enough to run overnight, because I guess I make a ton per craft, so I can probably get plenty. Okay, I made like 27,000 spirit runes, which I think if I did my math correctly should be enough to let me overnight this safely. So I'm going to do that. I'll check in tomorrow. We'll see what level I get to. XP rate's probably pretty good. 461 every 1.15 seconds. That's not too bad. All right, overnighting these runes gets me to 111 runecraft. Okay. So I can do lightning runes now, which are great because I need that as a secondary for summoning familiar that I'm probably going to swap to. Avoided doing a long time ago. It's also much more accessible runes, air, water, and fire, which I have like over 100,000. So I should just be able to let that go forever. Doing some bank cleanup here. I'm just going to get rid of all the chests from the fishing grind. I don't think there's going to be anything interesting in here. Nothing particularly exciting, or from lost chests, which I guess the rune stones are somewhat useful, especially for runecraft training later. Okay. Okay, 112 runecraft, gonna switch to archaic runes now. I should just be able to make those. Yeah, I've got the secondaries. I'm not sure if I'm able to get away with this, but there's a township task here to turn in 100 poison mythical wizard robes, infernal and lightning mythical wizard robes, which I can do at 114 runecraft, and it gives me 500,000 of 3 rune types that I don't really want to make because they're not great XP right now. And once I get those, I can turn in like half of them to do this task as well. So I'm going to try to work on that right now. Let me do, I'm only 113, so I can do the poison ones. I've already pumped the mastery to 99 because I've got nothing else to spend mastery on here. So I'm going to see if I can maximize my preservation chance and doubling and try to make as many of these as possible without using too many runestones. Okay, I won't make you watch all of this, but here are my starting resources. 90,000 poison runes, 140. Well, I'm going to have to make more nature runes, aren't I? Let me go make some nature runes really quick. Shit. I always forget how few of those I'm sitting on. All right, made the 100 robes, and because of my preservation chance, I didn't really spend any significant resources. Just gonna get back on making these archaic runes to level up. Oh, clicked the level up by mistake, but I hit 114, so I'm gonna go ahead and make these 100 infernal mythical wizard robes. I should be able to do that just fine. Let's get my preservation chance as high as possible, though. And my doubling chance. Here we go. All right, got my 100 robes. Still looking fine on runestones and infernal runes. I might go ahead. Well, getting the 99 mastery is a really huge resource saving, so I'm going to try to hold out to get the 99 mastery on the wizard robes before I make them. It's going to take a while, but it's probably better. All right, checking in after a 6-hour stream. We're up to 116 runecraft, so I can switch to calamity runes. Go ahead and do that. I'll probably be 120, maybe not quite from letting it run overnight, but I should be close. I should have enough mastery to pump this to 99. Yep. And then let me make these mythical wizard robes really fast. I'm running a little low on crow tablets. I might have to make a few more of those before I go to bed. But let's grab preservation chance and doubling and let it go. Whoop, I got distracted and looked away and made quite a few too many ropes, but I don't think it burned too many extra runestones. All right, well, now I should be able to go to Township and Tasks and Throne of the Herald and turn that in, which then lets me turn that in. And now I have plenty of runes, probably to last a really long time. Sweet. All right, let's just make Calamity runes all night. All right, overnight, runecraft, we're at 118, so I'll just let it keep running here and see if I can get to 120 before I have to go live today. It's actually really close to 119, so I probably will. Runecraft, 120. Okay, so just fletching is left from the skills. I'm going to go ahead and start doing these arrows here. I think I have enough familiars to get there, and it should take 5-6 hours. So I might slightly exceed the amount of XP required, but I'm going live with stream in like an hour. So I'll probably be slightly overshooting the level, but I'd like to just be done with it. All right, done with stream. Probably finally got my 120 here. Let's see. 119. Well, that's actually great because I was worried I was going to be wasting time. Oh no, I ran out of headless arrows. Did I forget to equip? Oh, I forgot to equip the Crown of Relics. Oh, that's so painful. Holy shit. Okay. Wow, that's the biggest long idle mistake I've made in a while. I wonder how long I was sitting there not doing anything. Awful. Go ahead and buy in the rune crafting skill cape, superior skill cape here. Yeah, I probably wasted like 3 hours. It's okay. I'll babysit this here until I can go ahead and make like my divine arrow tips and augite arrow tips and stuff since I can actually pay attention to the game for a bit. There we go. Fletching 120. I now have every non-combat skill to 120. How glorious is that? So now I have to find something to do. I'm probably going to train range, but I want to make sure that I have plenty of resources to do it overnight. So I think I can make mithril throwing knives. Yeah, I'm just going to sit and make a bunch of these really quick just to make sure I have plenty. I'll equip my cape and all that fun stuff. Hold on. Big challenge now is I need to make sure that I have enough resources to AFK in combat because I guess I can always melee something. That's completely safe. But if I do range or magic, I gotta be really careful that I don't accidentally wake up in the morning with no ammo. So I think the objective here is I'm just gonna make a bunch of mithril throwing knives. I should be able to make them pretty fast. And then I'm just gonna pick something to do. I still have township tasks to work on that are combat oriented. So I can probably try to finish getting the this one, magic tree seeds from the master farmer. I should be able to fight that with range, no problem. Okay, so I got to make some big decisions here. I think I'm going to convert basically all of my agility obstacles over to combat stuff. So I have to double check the best ones to swap here. And I'm probably going to have to swap out of combat to do some skilling. Like I'm likely going to have to make some familiars and the like, but I'd like to primarily switch over now that everything's 120. Things I'm interested in taking here, like stacking monster respawn timer would be really nice if I try to go for that task to kill the goblins, the 42,069 goblins. I have to get a higher defense to take that. So I think I just take ocean rafting for now. It's boring, but effective. I already checked everything above obstacle 10, and the stuff that's combat oriented requires a higher level combat than I currently have. Probably take this for the max HP. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'd level up my combat enough here that I can take all of the monster respawn stuff before I bother with the goblin task, because I can take stuff that penalizes my ability to like double loot with the goblin task. Most of the time, though, like monster respawn going down affecting double loot is not a net benefit for me, I think. As far as what to take here, double items globally, 200 max. I think we want max HP, right? Because that affects the DR threshold we need for certain content. Damage to monsters, max HP, damage reduction seems pretty good. We want to swap off this guy now. Can I have a thing that's like... I'd love to take reduced mastery XP since mastery doesn't matter anymore, but I think we go ahead and we take this one. Skill XP down, 3% is not so bad. This guy's got to be some 500 max HP. That's a no-brainer. Don't think either of these are good. 200 max HP, but minus 4% damage reduction, and 400 max HP. I don't think those are really takeable, so I just kind of deal with what I currently have. Melee max hit, maybe, although I'm not going to be doing purely melee. I guess I'll be doing some melee, and the evasion matters. None of that matters for combat, and none of that matters for combat. I guess global GP matters, but I already have that selected. Okay, and I switched the regular pillar to the pillar of combat, but the elite pillar of combat is kind of underwhelming. The only thing on here that I care about is the Slayer area effect negation. The other effects kind of don't matter because it's all just healing, right? And prayer point preservation, which I already have an infinite amount of food. So I think actually getting the 8% chance to double items globally is a better reward for that. This is probably going to be my agility setup. And then I have to compile some gear once I make enough of these throwing knives. I guess real quick before I start this, let me make some lightning spirits, because I think that they work with range. Yeah. Probably don't want to camp that for too long, because it's going to be expensive to make, but I'm going to make a bunch of them really quick. All right, I'm going to start training ranged here. Range 21 right off the bat. Trying to get my interval as low as possible. Part of the main reason I'm using throwing knives, because the enemy's obviously not difficult to kill at all. 25 range, I think I'm just gonna let this go to like 40, because then I get a bunch of gear upgrades like green dragon hide and the like. Probably a good idea for me to pick up the Slayer gear. I think it's better, at least it's better than this chest piece. So I'll go in the Slayer store. We'll get the cowl and the body. We can do the strong upgrade kit and the elite upgrade kit. I need to get 2 of both of those, don't I? Let's see. 1, and I've got an elite Slayer cowl, and then I need to get 1 of each again. Okay. Grade. That requires level 60, so let me actually just use this right now, because I think the stats on it are pretty good. Attack bonus, strength bonus. Yeah, that seems all right. And then once I get to the higher range level, I'll upgrade that one. Mark of the Tortoise, level 5. Okay, level 40 range, you unlock a ton of stuff. Green dragon hide armor, ranger gear, ice shortbow, ice longbow, rune javelins, rune throwing knives. Okay, I have to decide which of these I actually want to use here. 1 second. I do have 55,000 rune javelins, so that might last a little bit longer if I'm going to overnight this. That's probably the way to go. All right, and then I need to make some green dragonhide gear. I already have... Is this better than my Slayer thing? No, actually, Slayer thing's better. Chaps are going to be better than what I currently have, though. Upgrade this. Oh, that's... Seems like that's a no-brainer. That goes over here, and then can I upgrade it again? Not really. All right, you green D-hide chaps. Seems like every gear except for melee gear is actually kind of easy to get. And then I don't think I'm allowed to use this helmet, right, until level 60, so that's okay. Just go ahead and switch to these rune javelins. Still one-handed, so that's good. Can use the pirate hook. Probably want to swap off these bulky gloves now, though, because the interval effect sucks ass. Minus 80. 80 range strength bonus is a lot, though. I don't know that... I guess, like, because the enemy dies so fast, I guess I'm going to get to a point where I'm doing so much damage that it's, like, extreme overkill. Actually, my max hit is already substantially higher than his health, so I think that that's actually incorrect. I should just use the Van Braces to not have the longer interval. And I'm probably going to have to figure out exactly how much I'm consuming here because it's not super obvious. I think I can also, can I upgrade the van braces? I can. Okay, let's use that instead. Helps. Cool. And I guess I'll let this run for a minute. I think I get some new equipment at 50 as well. Whatever I end up running, I just want to let it run for a really long time. I've got 80,000 Dragon Javelins, and that's 60 ranged. Okay, well, I'll let this go for a bit. Oh, I didn't even notice the attack styles down here. I should have been on rapid this whole time. Holy shit. That would speed things up quite a bit. Whoops. My plan is to babysit this until I finally get this stupid summoning mark. So I'm level 40 and I still haven't gotten it. I think it's the Centaur. Yeah, I think we just let that run. Probably a high enough level now that I can afford to go to the Magic Stronghold. Probably the better thing to overnight than the Master Farmer, because I think getting the Superior Sigil is going to be more helpful overall. So let me switch to that here. Grab these seeds. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to annihilate this with my attack speed, to be honest. And one thing that's interesting is I can actually use these elusive boots finally, which I think for any enemy that takes more than 2 hits to kill, better than the Sand Treaders. The Sand Treaders are a maximum of 0.1 second attack interval down, but the elusive boots are 1% attack interval, which I guess maybe is not as good for very fast weapons like what I'm currently at. Like currently my attack speed is kind of comically fast, so maybe we want to stay. Oh wow, it gets down to 0.25. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna let that run because that's awesome. This is actually probably a good use case for the reduced monster respawn timer. The chance to double loot doesn't really matter because I'm not here for double loot. I'm here to just get a single sigil drop, right? I guess if it got doubled, it would be nice, but maybe that extra respawn reduction gets this done quite a bit faster. Tempting even to use the Hunter's Hat over the Elder Crown, because the monster respawn timer is like the big problem here. Can I do anything else to maximize respawn time? I guess one problem with this is it's going to significantly increase my usage of ammo, but I don't think that's a big deal. And I need defense 95, which so close to. I'm already 93. I guess I'd try to make that happen. I could do this one. Damage reduction down, mastery down. What am I using instead at this level? Max HP probably doesn't matter here. Yeah, and I don't need the damage reduction. Let's go ahead and take that. So that's equip this cape for a second. Make sure I can swap back to the ice jump. Yep, that should be fine. Pillar of Combat's also giving me a discount there. Okay. There's level 50. As soon as I complete one run, I'll back out and make some of this stuff. The Hunter's Hat, I don't know if it's actually worth using, but I'm going to give it a try. Comparison to the Elder Crown. I think I can still get down to like 0.25 seconds anyway, so. Stacking monster reach spawn time now is pretty good. Pretty noticeably faster with everything equipped. The Elder Crown might still be better. I'll probably just use the Elder Crown. All right, let's upgrade this into this guy. Is this better than the Slayer? It doesn't have the strength bonus. I don't really care about the accuracy that much. I'm probably not going to wield that one, but I will go ahead and upgrade this guy, because I will use that for sure. And the Van Braces probably also should just be strictly better, and that's strictly better. All right, back to the Stronghold. I'm just going to let this run probably overnight. But I need to keep babysitting this until I get the Centaur mark to drop. Otherwise, I'm not going to have a chance to get it, which kind of sucks. Stacking all this interval reduction is so satisfying to watch. Just watching it take 1 second and then get all the way down to 0.25 seconds. It's crazy. Super worth it. Yeah, I got excited when this popped up. I got Mark of the Wolf to level 4, and I've gotten Lightning Spirit increases. I still haven't gotten a single Centaur mark to drop. Already at like 50-something range, 53 range. Really just hope it drops because I want to go to bed. Hey, finally got Mark of the Centaur. Perfect timing too, because it's right before the end of the stronghold, and I need to go make one to make sure I can get more drops here. So as soon as this guy dies, I'll go do that really quick. Any second now. Okay. Yeah, so I don't like using these equipment sets because it's easy to forget that I have an important enhancement on one of them, but I guess if it's ranged, I can move everything over to an equipment set, so I'll do that in a sec. Little painful. I didn't really make enough bows. Didn't realize that actual strung longbows are required for this. So it's not amazing. It's actually kind of tempting to increase my preservation chance, but I'll just let it go. I just need to have enough. I only need to make it once to get more drops, but I feel like I'd like to have some to get this maxed out, because then I can get all of these to level 4. I get a pet that increases summoning preservation chance, which is pretty good. I just have to wait out level 60 here. A bunch of upgrades. Let's see. Yeah, let me finish this run and then I'll re-gear one more time before bed. All right, so we're doing the upgraded Slayer body, so I can equip that now. It's probably going to be better than red dragon hide. I'm going to quickly make some red dragon hide though. Van braces and chaps. I've got plenty of red D hide, so I should just be able to upgrade those right away. Upgrade. Okay, placed. And upgrade. Placed. Is there anything else I can do? Oh, it's I can do these. These are going to last way longer. The dragon javelins, and they're going to be better damage, which is nice. I don't think there's anything else I need to swap to. I think that should be more than sufficient to overnight. I might run out of summoning familiars, but things die so fast that almost doesn't matter. Oh, hopefully I'll wake up in the morning and have the superior sigil. That would be swell. I would have got the wrong prayers on here. Shit. Didn't think about this, but I can finally make the Slayer's crossbow, which I think I need for a township task, if I recall correctly. I might have needed 2 of them. Let me double check. Oh, here it is. And then 1,000 diamond bolts. Okay. Well, I'll try to remember to do that later, but I went ahead and made the crossbow. I've been paying attention long enough. I'm about to hit level 70, so I'll switch to black D hide and then actually let it go. Okay, how did 6 hours of ranging go? Hopefully I didn't run out of all my resources. There's a lot of dead stuff. 85 range, which is great. That's the level I need to equip my Eris gear. 100 hit points is also great. Need that, I think, for some agility shortcuts. 100 prayer. Can't tell if I got the thing I'm here for. Hold on. Didn't run out of resources, though. Mark of the Spider. Don't think I can make any of those anyway. Centaur, Mark of the Tortoise, level 6 is good to be done with. Wolf is 5. Lightning Spirit's 2. Oh, Wolf is 6 now. So now I can do Storm Snap and the Eris armor. Probably go attempt that. Skill Mastery, Valor as a prayer. What is Valor? Melee max hit, melee accuracy. Okay. I didn't get the sigil though. Even after 6 hours. Ooh, how many clears did I get here? 123. So I'm dry, but I'm not that dry. It could be worse. I'll let it keep running. Let me equip this Eris stuff though. Actually, what I'm probably going to do now is go ahead and switch to running the Air God dungeon to get the rest of the gear now that I can actually equip it. I'll do one more run just to see if I get lucky and it drops, though. Grab this prayer skill cape I'm never going to use. Do it on prayer points. Fine. Okay. Okay, re-geared up, and I'm running the Air God dungeon to get the rest of the stuff here. Storm Snap also drops here, which is pretty good. I might see if I get it. Still over here doing the Air God dungeon, trying to decide what I want to work on. Just researching to see if there's any major upgrades I can go for to make this farm a little bit faster. And I guess the Ring of Malice from the AOD expansion is pretty good. It requires the Unholy Forest, which I could do. And it's not a particularly rare drop. Like, it's like 3%. I mean, I guess that's not common, but it's a very tolerable grind. So I might reconfigure my gear to do that somewhat soon. Maybe after this run, just to see if I can get the ring. It's probably better than this ring that I'm using right now. Okay, so if I'm going to do barrier content, I need to equip, let's see, this gem, right? Eroding barrier gem, and I probably have a couple other barrier things like this guy, and the barrier touch ring. I don't think I need to worry too much about other stuff. Let's definitely equip the full crystal set. Do I need to equip the crystal set? Only if I had updated it more, I guess. Okay. I probably am fine with this setup to go run the dungeon. Let me switch one of these to the tortoise. It's probably better. Here, I'm gonna need to make more of these. All right, well, I'll see if I can get lucky with the drop and then back out to make some more tortoise tablets. Um, Everything else I got is about as good as it gets. And I think I don't need a ton of damage reduction here, so I think the highest damage max hit is like 260. Let me make sure none of them have like a stun or something. I'm gonna turn on protect item for the first clears to make sure I can watch all of the abilities here. I've never run this one before. Only prayer of malice. Okay. 2044 damage. Kind of amazing barrier damage right now. So I probably should spend more time in the AOD expansion, but this ring seems like it's a pretty easy upgrade to pick up. They give me Unholy Mark when they hit me. So far, everything's damage seems pretty fine. Barrier Burn's really good. That's from having both Tortoise and Dragon. Okay, so their deal is that they get a higher minimum hit, it seems like. Which isn't really a big deal. My summon accuracy is more important. I'm trying to level defense to 95, but I'd rather have as high of accuracy as possible. So we'll see how this last one goes, and then I'll just deactivate protect item and update you when I get the drop. I think the reason this ring is so good is it puts like a really powerful curse on the enemy for free without needing to support it with anything else. Okay. None of these look like they're gonna kill me. Alice. Giving them healing. Yeah, okay, no problem. I don't need protect item. We're completely fine. All right, I'll report when I get the thing. I was opening my items from the Eris grind and got the Deadeye ring. Seems pretty good. That's okay. Probably not going to be better than this Ring of Malice I'm going for. I guess these bonuses can be good if you make the Virulence gloves eventually. I got a doubling gem to drop. That's kind of interesting. I didn't even see that in the tree. That's an extra 3% chance of double loot in combat. It's useful for some specific use cases where the agile gem isn't as good. Another unique consuming shield M. Grants the maximum effect of the consumption prayer at the start of the prayer. I think that's very helpful. I kind of stress about it. Hey, there's a Ring of Malice. That didn't take too long. I guess I'll finish the run I'm currently doing and I'll get out of here. How many clears was that? It was like 11 clears? All right, we came in under rate. I guess the whole idea is this just throws Malice on the enemy, and that's like best in slot for substantial amount of content. Good timing, too. I didn't want to have to make more Tortoise tablets. Heading back to the Air God dungeon, trying out this Ring of Malice. Let me see if I can see the debuff here. 4% of current... Oh, things are going to die so fast, I'm not able to read it. Percentage of target's current hit points deltas damage when hitting with an attack. And it applies like 5 times. So it's useless in barrier content, because by the time you deplete their barrier, your starting stacks are gone, but it's a really significant reduction in their max health in those first few hits. It's pretty good. All right, finally got a drop. The Eris God plate legs. Still need the plate body. I'll probably move on once I get that. I guess Storm Snap's pretty good. I have to figure out where exactly I should be using Storm Snap, though. All right, let this run for a little bit, and I've got basically everything now. I've got 1 God Sword, a Storm Snap, and a plate body. That's pretty cool. Obviously, I eventually need to get 500 total KC, and I need to get a total of 5 God Swords to make the Ultimate God Sword, so I'll probably just stay here. This is much safer for me to idle than doing ranged at the moment. But pretty cool to basically have every drop. I guess I still need the amulet, which I guess maybe I have. Let's see, let me open all these guys. Okay, chest. Didn't get it, that's okay. Checking in on 4 hours of the Eris dungeon here. Strength 105, prayer 102, 74 clears. Okay, I'm gonna have to really let this run for a long time to get that 500 clears, but I'm just gonna go for it. Barely used any shrimp, which is really funny. Avidity, which I think is a ranged prayer. Yeah, that'll be helpful when I go back to doing ranged. Let's just see what all I got here. Need more swords. I got 1 more sword. Okay, so I need 3 more. I think we're doing fine on rate, because I think I've only cleared, let's see, should say here, 169, and I have 2, so given that I have to do another 350 or so, don't feel like we're in any particular trouble there. Okay, I'm just going to keep letting this run, I guess. I also opened up 99 air chests and just got more Deadeye rings, so no amulet yet. However, I did get enough diamond bolts from that project to be able to turn in this task. So that's good. That gets us to 100 tasks completed. I think I only need to do 10 more total to be able to unlock the final township boxes. And that should be pretty doable. I think this is just a matter of sitting at that dungeon for a long time. This is just a matter of AFK and goblins. I'm going to be doing the Eris task pretty soon and probably the Glacier task after that. Terran and Ragnar being 1 task is kind of mean. I think I have enough stats that I can AFK the volcanic stronghold or whatever to get the 100 infernal capes. So that should be pretty easy. Magic Tree Seeds is doable, but it's going to take a really long time. I think I've got 10 tasks in here that I can do as a short version, especially if we include this Atlas of Discovery stuff and maybe a couple of the Throne of the Herald stuff that's not combat related. All right, 13 hours of the Air God dungeon. Strength 2 levels, 1 hit point level, 3 prayer levels, 232 clears. Okay, well, we're kind of getting there then. Check on everything else. Oh, hey, I got the pet. That's cool. Chance to double items globally is actually one of the best possible things I could get. Mark of the Siren, level 4. All these level ups. Divination is a magic prayer, I assume? Yeah, okay. I think I'm still got to run it quite a few more times. Let's see how many more swords I get here. Oh, we're good on swords. Fantastic. Okay. Feels a little bad. I still have to do 98 kills at Eris, and I don't need really any of them. I guess I don't have the necklace yet. Well, I might if I open these. So let's see if this is enough to get me there. 313 chests. Still no necklace. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll do another 100 kills then for the township task. Hopefully this will be enough ancient javelins and ancient arrows to do, and ancient throwing knives to switch to ancient for range training. I think I have a decent amount of all of them. Well, not as decent I was hoping. Okay amount, I guess. All right, got the Deadeye amulet. Finally, was cutting it a little close there. Yeah, I only have like 54 more kills to go. I was worried that I was gonna get those 54 kills and these 100 air chests and not get it, but I got it. It might be better when I'm doing ranged than the extra attack interval reduction from this necklace. It is 25% crit chance, is pretty substantial, so I'll think about using it. Opened up all the magic chests I got from doing the Stronghold of Magic. I still have to go back there with all these upgrades. I just want to finish up this grind first. But ended up getting the Ancient Wizard Hat, which I didn't already have, so that's cool. Mark of the Siren level 5 is pretty exciting. I'm already kind of benefiting from this chance to burn when the enemy's sleeping, although I feel like that procs pretty rarely because you don't have a lot of turns to be able to get it to apply. But in any case, once I get Siren to level 6, I'll probably make a ton of lightning tablets and swap to that so I can level it. 3 more KC to go, and then I guess it's tempting to go straight into the water dungeon because I don't really need to finish the magic stronghold just yet. I guess I could AFK the magic stronghold just to get some more, range levels so that the water dungeon is a little bit faster. We'll see, but I just want to finish this task up. All right, it's my last kill. Goodbye to this dungeon. I got literally everything, every possible drop, plenty of every possible drop, and also the pet. So let's claim those rewards. Don't think they're going to produce anything that really matters. Oh, I'm real glad I got the necklace before then. I actually got a second necklace, but if I'd been depending on that, that would have been disappointing. Okay, we got way too many God Swords and Storm Snaps. So with that done, I think I'm just going to go back to the Magic Stronghold until I get the Superior Sigil to drop. Mark of the Centaur level 3. I'm going to decide if I want to switch to Dragon at some point. Don't think I have the synergy unlocked for it yet. Pretty dry over here on the Superior Sigil, 166 clears. Well, I did just get the Elementalist gloves, so that's kind of cool, I guess. All right, I still haven't gotten the drop here at the Stronghold of Magic, and I don't really want to run it overnight because it's probably going to be overkill. I say that, probably trapping myself into going even drier. What won't be overkill, though, is doing the water dungeon. So let me get my gear together for that. I think I know what my objective is here in terms of DR. Let's see. 41% DR with the full Eris set equipped. I need 45%. I could equip Dragonfire Shield would get me there. I guess this technically has a ranged penalty. I could also go get the Poison Scale Shield, but that's going to require me to run a little bit of the Dragon's Den dungeon. I could just do that. It should be fine, right? I don't know if running it ranged is a gigantic mistake. Let's see. I need to have 6% DR, so I should just be able to get away with wearing all of this stuff. No, range isn't the best combat style here, but I seem to be deleting the enemies anyway, so it's not like it's a big deal. I need 500 Elder Dragon Hide, so I'm going to try to squeeze that out so I can get this shield. Because I forgot I had an agility shortcut that was giving me a pretty substantial damage reduction penalty, so I don't think I need to get this shield. I think I'd prefer to have the pirate hook for the additional interval reductions. Let me kill the dragon, re-equip stuff, and see if I'm in a good spot here. So it's this thing, and should put that in my quick equip. That's 47% damage reduction. I only need 45%. Okay, cool. Let's give it a try. I guess let me throw on protect item just in case I really badly miscalculated something, but Water God dungeon, start dungeon. See, I might end up moving a couple things around here. Probably not going to use the ancient throwing knives because I don't have enough to last me all night, but I think I've got enough ancient javelins that I would be safe. Okay, well, you've seen me clear this before. I'll report when I get to the boss. Made it to Glacia. I think we're completely fine on the math here. Probably, honestly, have a little bit less damage reduction. At least I don't think I saw any enemies that seemed like they were going to be a big problem. Nothing close to my auto-eat threshold of 4560, but I'll pay closer attention to it on the next run. Well, first item I got is the magic god boots. I'll just have all of them when I wake up, but it still is fun for me to report when I get the individual drops. Got the god helmet, and I'm just gonna let this run overnight. My kill rate is quite a bit slower than I was getting with the air god dungeon, but that's okay. Trying to put together a magic setup here. Checking in on 13 hours of a water god dungeon here. Let's see. Got a bunch of level ups. 97 range, 109 prayer, hit points 103, 200 clears. It'll take me a while to get to 500. And item usage is fine, although I'm almost out of summoning familiars, so I'll have to watch those a little bit more closely. Lightning Spirit level 3, Centaur level 4. I got the ranged pet, that's pretty good. Centaur is actually 5. I got the Water God dungeon pet, that's fun. Yes, preserve prayer points. Centaur is maxed out. And I got a new prayer, excuse me. Let's see what all I got from the actual drops here. So we're good on God swords, I think, and I got the Cloudburst staff, which is the other rare thing. I got the plate legs and the plate body. So yeah, we're done with stuff from the main scroll. That's good. That's way before 500 kills. And then this guy, I don't actually need everything from this chest, but I have it. Okay. So that went so well because I have everything now. The only reason to stay here is for not even have the pet, right? I'm like completely done with the water dungeon. Yeah. The only reason to stay here is for the township task, and I feel like it's going to be, if it took me 13 hours to get 200 kills, right? It's basically a whole day, 24 hours almost, get all 500. So I'm going to let this run finish, and I'm probably going to go back to the Magic Stronghold. All right, well, I got the pet at the Stronghold of Magic. Now I'm officially allowed to complain about being dry on the Superior Sigil, 178 KC. At least I got that early, I guess. Well, if going dry gets me this, that's kind of worth it. I finally got the Book of Eli, which I think is pretty useful. Remains useful for a while. It's usable at level 1 magic, so that would have been nice a while ago, but it's good to have it. Got 110 prayer. Holy Aegis, I think, is plus 5% damage reduction, which might be useful to do some specific content that I don't hit the DR threshold for. Still no drop, though. What are we up to? I guess I went double dry, 195. I got the 206 for Stronghold of the Undead, so here's hoping I don't go triple dry. Got the way to go watch a movie. Came back and I'm 99 range, so that's cool. And I got the superior to drop. I don't know when it happened, but hey, it's very, very happy to be done. Mark of the Siren, level 6. Might actually end up using the ranged cape. I mean, it's worse DPS than the infernal cape, but it's like 50% ammo conservation, which is nice. All right, well, that's very good to have. Now I have to decide what I'm going to work on next. Probably magic, but I have to like figure out what all I'm going to do for magic here. Because I need lots of runes. I probably already have enough that I can AFK something, but I have to pick what I'm going to AFK. Right, I'm just making some air runes so that while I stare at the screen, I'm doing something active. Let me think about it. So I've got this thing finally. Let me go ahead and equip it. Oh, because I have to unequip the other thing. Okay, I'm like, why won't it let me equip the thing? So those aren't allowed to stack. That makes sense. God, that took so many kills. How many kills did I end up going to? 251. All right. Yeah, so what I need to do is I need to put magic gear together, and then I have to pick content to do. I could just go back to the Master Farmer, but I think my magic level is too high for that to be an effective use of my time. And I've already done these strongholds. I mean, I guess I could go try to get another undead superior sigil. Maybe. I'll think about it. I think I'll fight a fierce devil because I think I still need a bunch of torture amulets. Is that right? I have 9. I need 10. I need a torture amulet, and then I'll figure out something else that has to do with getting the fez, I think. Yeah, I'm going to try to make a bunch of witch tablets and occultist tablets just to level those up, because I think once I get those leveled up, and I think I need to get like a couple like yak marks, and I guess cyclops as well, then I can get the thing that preserves summoning charges. I'm actually going to throw on protect item again and try the stronghold of dragons. I have to do the infernal stronghold 90 more times. I guess I won't do that then. I'll get the amulet of torture. All right, just an AFK this guy to level 70. Probably should have finished getting to 70 before, because get a lot of upgrades then. And then I'll try to ride the wave to 85. Oh, that was super quick. I already got one. All right, so after that, I want to go get an Amulet of Fury. I'm looking up what I should fight for it. Seething Horned Elite, Elite Chest, or Chest of Witwicks. I guess the Elite Chest is from regular Volcanic Cave. Yeah, I guess I could do that. Look, it's an average of 901 clears of the Volcanic Cave. Let me make sure I have enough damage reduction. Yeah, I only need 14% DR, so that should be fine. I'll just go do that. All right, there's 70 magic. We definitely want to switch to the second surge spell, I think. It's going to cost me some runes, so I can equip Book of Eagle Eye. And then now I can technically use Surge 3, which is a little bit better than having the Pirate's Hook. And I should be able to get a couple other gear upgrades. Yeah, I guess unfortunately after all that, I did get the Ancient Wizard robes, but not the bottom, so I just won't have those. Okay, so I think I have access to this spell called Slicing Winds because I already cleared this dungeon 100 times. Attack 3 times for 1750 damage each, extra 20k. That can't miss. Which it is. Okay. Well, if it can't miss, then I don't need to use Diamond Luck Potions. I can use Critical Strike Potions, right? I guess we'll see if it's still high enough against the boss. I think because of all my other stacking buffs, it's actually worse than Wind Surge. I'm just going to switch back over to Wind Surge. I guess it maybe depends on me having the Diamond Luck Potion, but there's no way to buff the damage on it, and this just one-shots everything all the time. Had a slight recording mishap there. Hopefully I caught it in the edit. 11 hours of AFK at Volcanic Cave, though. Let's see how that turned out. Okay, magic is almost 85, which is our target. 111 prayer. 671 clears. Pretty good. Cultist level 4, Witch level 3, Cultist level 5, Cultist level 6, Witch level 4. A whole bunch of new spells. Okay. Let's see how many Fury amulets I get out of this. Just enough. Fantastic. Okay, so I think the last thing I need to make a Fez then, amusingly enough, is magic amulets. Yeah, I have 88 of them and I need 12 more, so I'll go get that. Yeah, I got a ton of these amulets just from running the Stronghold of Magic because the Master Wizard shows up several times, so I only need 12 more. It shouldn't be too long of a grind. I'm just going to do it with magic. There's 85 magic. Now switch to the Cloudburst Staff and the Glacia God Gear, which is a pretty big upgrade, I think. This staff is like really powerful, it's my understanding. I want the plate legs, the plate body, and the gloves. Then we want to switch to a water spell, water surge. 400 max hit, water spell damage, water rune cost, and 100% of the time do a big attack. Okay. Okay, I think I can make this now. Let me unequip. I equipped one here. Where did I put the regular amulets of magic? Am I stupid? There they are. Overshot it a little bit, but that's all right. All right, so now we go to upgrade, and I can finally make my first Fez. Oh, nice. I think it's good most of the time. The 3% damage reduction is pretty great. It's a pretty compelling reason to use it. But I think that the summoning amulet can beat it out, and the Deadeye amulet can beat it out in a lot of cases. So now I need to pick the next thing I'm going to do. It's probably going to be the Terran God Dungeon, but let me double check the stats that I need to not die in there. I really have to get my gear laid out in a very specific way because the damage reduction requirement is 51% for my current health total. And I can just barely hit that. So probably fine. I don't think I have a lot of other sources of DR. I guess I could try to hunt for DR in agility, maybe. Don't think anything's going to beat 500 max HP, though, right? A lot of these contain a penalty to damage reduction. This one's maybe takeable. The rune preservation penalty is pretty terrible, but it's also only 1% DR, so that's not a huge time save. All right, well, I've got a gear set together. It's not amazing, but it should be good enough that I can get okay clear rates here. Might swap off the occultist since I maxed it out. Decide what I want to use instead. Looking at the wiki, it might be overshooting the amount of DR required because I guess that's based on getting stunned, and my attack interval is low enough that I should be able to avoid stun every single time. Because I should be able to come out of the cast before the computer gets to hit me again with something else. So maybe I can slightly optimize this setup to better gear than what I currently have equipped. Well, I got the Terran God helmet, so I still need the plate body. I'm gonna double check. I think this place has a couple useful tertiary drops from the shards. I think there's a really good damage reduction ring that would be fantastic to get early. Keep an eye on it. All right, got the plate legs. Really just need the plate body now. Exciting because I've been one of these melee upgrades for a long time and I didn't want. Oh, they had the Guardian ring. That's one of the things I'm here for. Excellent. 2% damage reduction on the base Guardian ring is not super amazing, but the upgraded version of it still only 2% DR, but I guess slows you down, chance to inflict bleed. Okay. When you are bleeding. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's good, but it's an upgrade in the distant future. This is 3 hours ish of running the Terran dungeon. I get about 3 clears per hour. It's not very good. It's actually kind of terrible. I guess it's sort of 4 clears per hour. Maybe it'll get better as I gain magic levels here. Oh, Jesus. The problem was, that is a big waste of time. I didn't realize that if you had use combination runes selected, that it wouldn't just default to not use them if you ran out. So I guess I was just sitting there failing to cast spells for Lord knows how long. Okay, well, now I know that's a thing. So I'm thinking of bouncing from this briefly because I now have every single mark to level 4 except for Cyclops, which requires Slayer. So I could go do some Slayer tasks for a bit to try to finish getting Cyclops to 4, which will get me the summoning charge discount pet. So after this run, I'm going to figure out a way to do that. Only got a Terran God Sword. Still don't have Terran Plate Body, unfortunately. All right, from Project Level Up Cyclops, I just got the Hunter's Ring, which I might consider using. I guess the Slayer area negation is going to be important for later Slayer tests. I think there are later areas where I have to completely negate the area effect. Otherwise, it's like impossible to win. But I think the Ring of Malice is probably going to make this much faster, even with the XP bonus. And these Cyclops marks are coming in real slow. I'm just going to let this go for like 7 hours and then come back to it. And then I want to get back to trying to grind out the Terran dungeon. All right, 6.5 hours of Slayer here. Did I get my 5 Master Slayer tasks? That's it. That's crazy. I got a Wasteful Ring, Recoil Shield. I'm getting all the uniques. That's kind of cool. There's Mark. That's what I was doing this for. Attack 100. I did attack. I'm trying to get everything to 99 so I can get the max cape. Slayer 95 on Hallowed Wasteland. Okay. I need to get defense to 100 now. I'll probably do that at the same time as magic. I'll just do magic plus defense. Now that I have the Mark pet, which will give me some savings, I think I'll switch back and go overnight the Terran dungeon. Let me make sure I have enough runes, though. I'm a little worried about running out of runes. It could happen. I need air and water runes, or I can make mist runes, I guess. But I'd have to make a ton of them to make sure that I don't run out, you know? Let me just confirm. Water, air. And then the Aurora is, if I use it, it's just air. I think maybe I'll just runecraft. It's boring because I'm already at 120, but I really just don't want to have to think about runes anymore. Maybe if I overnight one kind of rune and I can overnight the other kind of rune and then just babysit the Terran dungeon when I'm playing with magic. That's probably fine. I'll just do that. All right, I've been rune crafting for a while. I have about 400k of air and water runes. I'm hoping that's going to carry me. I also ended up buying a bunch of light runes from the Slayer shop resupplies, which should be enough to maintain Auroras overnight. Really just want to do this Terran dungeon before I do anything else substantial, so I'm going to try to gear back up and head in there. Oh man, that's a really good pet to get. It's a really good pet to get. That was right before I went to bed, too. Heck yeah. 1% damage reduction. That was on 45 KC, too. Nice. Okay, 9 hours of the Terran dungeon here. Still going fine. Didn't die in the middle of the night. Defense 98, hit points 106, magic 92, prayer 113. Mark of the Yak, Mark of the Witch, Mark of the Lightning Spirit, all looking pretty good. Okay. 200 clears at 20 an hour is not too bad. Witch is maxed out, so I don't have to use it anymore. Frostbite and Petrified. Okay. I wonder I switch to the lightning spirit. Do I have a synergy for that? 80% damage bonus while stunned. Okay. So let's see what I got from drops. Got the Earth Layered Shield. That's good. That's one of the ones I really need, and it's pretty rare. And the Plate Body and my God Swords. So I think we've got everything. I'm trying to think what else I would need. I mean, I guess theoretically I want 10 copies of the Guardian Ring, but I don't need to do that right now necessarily. Well, I got him now. I think there's still like an amulet or something I can get. I can't see it from here. Hold on. Guardian Amulet is a 1 in 300-ish drop. And it's okay. It gives you more damage reduction. It's doubled when you're low health. And so next thing I think I'm going to do, I'm going to finish this run, and then I would like to run Infernal Stronghold 90 more times, because I think that gets me access to Stronghold of Dragons, and I should just be able to AFK it pretty safely with magic. Not really changing my gear from this setup even. All right, with loot doubling, I've got enough clears to clear the township task now. This guy. Or Infernal Claws. Okay, I guess if I ever lose one, it won't be so terrible. I still have to keep running it another 22 times though to unlock the Stronghold of Dragons. Oh, overshot my 100 clears a little bit. I'm just going to finish up this last one and then head over to the Stronghold of Dragons just to try it out. It would be nice to get a third Superior Sigil. There we go. All right, and I don't think I'm going to need like protect item or anything. I think it's completely safe to just run it with this gear set, but I'll watch it and report how it goes. No, I looked away and ended up clearing the stronghold with no issues. So apparently it's fine. So let me open this first scroll here. Dragon Enhancement 2, Mastery in all skills. That would have been nice a little while ago. I guess if I go for Mastery on stuff, I'll use it then. Okay, I guess it ends with Malx. I don't think you can drop anything, which is kind of boring. What are you going to do? I'm going to see what I get here. I would like to get into the Augmented Stronghold. I'm probably going to have to leave to make more runes. Yeah, I didn't get doubled. Circle, range, critical hit chance. Okay. I just need the square, which I think is still 1 in 12. Yeah, I already burned through half the runes I made yesterday. You really gotta like go crazy on air runes. It's nuts. I'm gonna go live in like an hour, so I want to make sure I have plenty of runes to AFK the stronghold. So I'm gonna make a bunch of air runes here. Also, I would very much like, if possible, get to the second tier stronghold before I AFK it. I guess if I don't have the second tier stronghold before I have to step away, I'll find something else to AFK. I think I can probably do the fire dungeon, which is the thing I have to do anyway. I just want to try to get all the buffs I can first. And apparently I did enough Slayer that I can do this task now. And I should end up getting this one. I forget, I think I can get Jade Stones from pickpocketing. There might be another way to get them too. That should be a pretty easy task to turn in. And then I only have 7 to go, so 6 to go with that one cleared. All right, I got the square enhancement pretty early. And go super dry, which is really nice. I'm going to pop out of here then and get all of this equipped. I can do the next tier. Augmented. Okay. I don't think a lot of these benefits are worth it, although they end up having a lot of health eventually, so maybe eventually it's worth it. Hey, there's 99 defense. I just wanted to take that to 99 so that I can eventually get the max cape, so I'm going to switch back to just getting magic XP here. Although I guess you could argue I should stay on it until I max out the yak. I'm a little ways to go. No, I feel like runes get consumed so fast. I need to get as much magic XP per rune as possible and train defense with melee later, because it'll be free to do it with melee. Oh, this is lucky. I got the enhancement 3 early. That was on my second pull. So I really just need to get the triangle now. Watch me go dry on it. But it's nice to have this one early because I went pretty dry on it in the magic stronghold. Okay, if I got lucky and got the triangle, I would have gone ahead and done the superior stronghold, but I didn't. So instead, I'm going to go do the fire dungeon because I have to do that anyway. I guess I could also do Slayer tasks. Decide what makes more sense. I think I'm completely safe if I do Slayer tasks. My damage reduction is high enough. Let me think. Hey, checking in on this Slayer task with magic, or I guess I didn't do it with magic, I did it with melee. 101 attack, 97 Slayer, only 4 tasks completed in 6 hours. These master tasks are brutal. Might try to let this one run overnight because I can. It doesn't cost me any resources to do so, other than shrimps, which I have essentially an unlimited number of. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna let this run overnight. Oh, but I did forget to switch cartography locations. That kind of sucks. Oh well. Oh, I didn't realize there was a pet here. Melee evasion, range evasion, magic evasion for perilous peaks. That's kind of cool. Hey, there's 99 Slayer. So I could wear the Slayer cape. Then I won't have to wear these boots anymore. I guess I would just sub them for boots that have DR on it. Maybe the better thing to do is to try to get the magic cape because then I can wear the max cape, which should feel less bad to equip over the infernal cape. I think I'm just going to AFK this overnight. It's nice to be 99 Slayer, though. Another 99 in the bag. Actually, yeah, magic is the last skill I need to get to 99. So maybe we'll do that tomorrow. All right, overnighted this. We got another 2 Slayer levels, only 7 Slayer tasks. I am going to finish these master tasks eventually, but damn is it going to be, it's going to be a grind. It feels like, holy shit. Okay. 103 defense, new prayer. And this prayer, is it any good? Evasion and lifesteal, no, it's not any good. I think the one at 118 is okay, but most of these other prayers are pretty pointless. Now that I can play attentively, I might try to do something where I can pay attention, like doing that magic stronghold. Let's see. Oh boy, I celebrated too early. I got another square and still no triangle. Hopefully I don't go dry on the triangle. Oh, I got the triangle. That wasn't too bad. So how far along are we here? 11 clears, and I've gotten 6 of the things I need. That's actually pretty decent. No reason to keep running this one, though. So we're going to switch to this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and then Superior Stronghold. Maybe I'll get lucky since I got very unlucky on the other 2. So the Superior Dragon Stronghold is really, really slow. It's real slow. So I think my plan here is just use this as a way to train magic. I'm going to get magic to 99, just let me get the max cape, and then when I'm training Slayer, I'll use the max cape in lieu of the Slayer cape, and just keep sitting on these Slayer tasks until I can unlock the master upgrade. It's still a ways off. It's like, 16 more kills. That's 40 feels like insurmountable, so getting it down to 16, it feels a lot more accessible. Pretty funny. I just got the ancient crossbow from an elder chest from the Stronghold of Dragons. I think this thing's actually kind of useful. Maybe there's a different one that I'm thinking of that's more useful. Let me check. Yeah, I guess the idea is that because it drops the enemy evasion by 30%, that's pretty strong. There's probably a better ranged weapon I can use, though. I'm going to end up using range for the Fire God dungeon, so I think that this is recommended on the wiki, but I can probably do better than that. We'll see. I got level 6 on the Lightning Spirit. That's cool. I think I'm actually maxed out on almost every mark except the Yak, which is funny. And of course, the Owl, the Spider, and the Spectre. I don't have access to the secondaries for either of these. It's all post Impending Darkness before I can get that stuff. But I'll probably switch to defense at some point. Oh, I guess I'm pretty close to 6 with Cyclops, so not quite there. All right, really close to getting the max cape here. There it is, Magic 99, and there's no pop-up for getting all skills to 99. Okay. That's all right, though. Maximum skill cape. Yeah. Great. We don't need any of the other ones then. So after this run is done, I'm going to go back to doing Slayer, but I'm going to wear the max cape. That's my plan. Just do it with melee since I don't have to worry about ammo or runes if I do that. Yeah, so max cape seems pretty good for Slayer. It means I don't have to wear specific items, so I don't lose those slots, and I get plus lots of plus attack, lots of plus strength, and decent defense bonus. And I guess a bunch of other things that maybe I'm not thinking about. I look up what all the different skill capes do to see which ones actually practically stack for combat. I guess prayer is helping me too in hit points, which is mildly useful. I guess in addition to the stated buffs, it's also the plus 5% damage for Slayer. And I don't know if it gives me chance to preserve in summoning. I think I need to get the superior max cape for that. Although that's pretty possible. I'll probably see that at some point. Plus 5% XP is pretty good for combat skills too. All right, 4 hours of AFK, defense 104, prayer 116, slayer 102, 4 tasks, no, 3 tasks complete, not even 4 tasks. These are pretty slow. Cyclops is maxed out, so that's nice. I think we just stay 77 hunting dragons should be fine. That means I need how many more? 13 more. Maybe overnighting it like one more time and then letting it run during the day. All right, I just got Mark of the Yak to level 6, which is what I've been going for a while. So now everything is level 6 except for Owl, Spider, and Spectre. I could do Owl, but it doesn't really matter anymore. I mean, there's a couple more constellations that I have to max out, but I don't think that it's worth doing. It's like the cooking one and the fletching one. Who cares? And then the other two, I'm going to have to get into Throne of the Herald to do it anyway. So that means I don't have to run defense anymore. I think I'll switch to strength here. All right, 10 hours of Slayer AFK. Did I do 8 tasks in that period is the question. Golly gee, I hope the answer is yes. Got a bunch. I did do 10, almost exactly 10. Oh, I guess I finished one as I logged in. All right, sick. So I can finally buy this guy. Let me finish this kill and run away. Unequip, equip. Here's my Slayer gear. Melee. So upgrade. Upgrade. And then what level does this require? Because I think I can just get this for all the combat styles now, right? Well, 80 defense and Slayer. Okay, sweet. So now I can work on something else. I'm probably going to finish getting the Alter Greatsword and then do Into the Mist now that it doesn't really matter. Because the reason to not do Into the Mist early is it makes getting this Slayer thing much harder. You can't overnight it. Now that it's been overnighted, that's not a problem. So let me see if I can gear up, and I'm going to try to do the Fire God Dungeon to get the UGS. Oh, I forgot there was an elite task for getting a max cape. I'll just turn that in then, and then go grab another one. Okay, so I really want to get that passive slot unlocked, which is from beating Into the Mist 1 time. So I'm going to give it a shot. I have 3 equipment sets here that all should be acceptable, I think. And then I should be able to spam eat, essentially, spam manual eat. As far as which one to go in on by default, it's hard to say. I think the way it works is you have to fight a bunch of waves of random enemies that can all debuff your max health. And then the final boss, you have to fight with all 3 combat styles. I think you fight melee and then ranged and then magic. So I think we'll be good. Just making sure that I know what I'm doing here. If I die, I die, I guess. It seems kind of silly to bring protect item here. Fortunately, I can't set... Oh, maybe I can set prayer separately for each of these guys. So I think we always want Battle Heart and whatever the damage prayer is. This is range though, so we don't want that one. This one. Right, and then 2 would be the mage prayer. And then 3 would be this one. So 1 is melee, 2 is magic, 3 is range. I probably should switch 2 and 3, but I'll just try to remember that that's the case. Uh, Damage reduction is pretty good across all three. It's the worst for magic. But this is probably my best DPS, so. All right, let me make sure I'm standing on the right tile in cartography. Yep, that should give me the best bonus. I forgot to do that when I was overnighting Slayer, so I missed out on like 50% Slayer coins. It's extremely painful. Let's give it a try. Into the Mist. Hopefully I don't lose any important items here. Afflicted Chaotic Greater Dragon. The idea is as he gives me Affliction, my auto-eat threshold drops for that fight only. I have to watch to see if I have to manually eat. But I have no idea what it's going to throw at me, so hopefully a lot of the fights are just easy. I do get something special for getting 5 clears, so if this is like super trivial, maybe I'll just do 5 clears really quick. And I won't record the future clears, obviously, but I think this is interesting enough. Bounty Hunter's a little scary. Die quickly. And I think the idea with the final boss is you just want to kill her really quickly, is the idea. Going okay so far. And I think the game's going to give me a second to get my gear together when I get to each boss phase, which is nice. Top off after each kill. I think this is made a little bit easier by me having, what, 109 hit points instead of 99 hit points. I don't think it's going to make it, like, significantly easier, but... Alx. Potentially kind of scary with a lot of stacks. Well, this guy is scary outside of this dungeon, so we just want to kill him right away. Okay, the dream. She's also pretty bad. Okay. This is much less initially scary than I thought it was going to be. But it's probably because I waited so long to do it. I probably should have done this much sooner to get the passive slot. But I didn't want to have to deal with not being able to AFK Master Slayer. Cursed Maiden is a really high max hit, so she's actually extremely scary if I don't get the kill quickly. Okay, we're fine. Fight pause. Use this time to prepare. Mysterious figure, phase 1. Mark of death. All right, let me, while I'm paused, give me a second to review to make sure that I am in fact switching to melee for the first phase. It looks like her chance to hit is already 20%, so there's no reason for me to use protect from melee here because it would be reduced damage, and I've already got really, really high evasion. By default, she's not one-shotting me, but she will. 1 stack of Mark of Death, 50% decreased damage regardless of stacks. 1 stack is removed. Okay, so yeah, so I have to have a lot of attack stacks here in order to drop that so that I don't die from damage reduction. But I'm going to try to just manual heal. Here we go. I'm going to watch her max hit on stuff here. Shouldn't feel like that unnecessarily. Fight's progressively getting harder as I get more affliction stats, so it's kind of a DPS race. Okay, got phase 1. It's going to give me a chance to prepare again. This one is ranged. Top off. Got the right prayers. We just go again and hope for the best, I think. Now she has a 29% chance to hit, but she doesn't have the thing that heals her this time. Okay, yeah, so this time I don't really need to have heal. Let's see. Start the fight. 54% chance to hit sucks. Clearing Mark of Death relatively reasonably. This phase seems quite a bit easier. Okay, that went fine. And then the final phase is magic, and I'm hoping that the Cloudburst staff is just strong enough to nuke her here. Shadow Burst is pretty scary though, because it's already pretty close to this even without having any corruption stack. So hopefully this just like melts her before it meaningfully becomes a problem. Let's see. I need to watch for my auto eat threshold there to drop below 40/80 is when there's a problem, I think. She did an attack called Into the Mist. Hey, dungeon complete. A reward has been added to your bank. So, beginning of the end and New Dawn. You have Darkwater Slayer area. And now I have this cool passive slot, which I probably want to put the uh, pirate hook in there. Yeah, because that's just straight up 0.2-second reduced interval for everything. There's probably other things I could use instead of that. That's cool to finally get that clear. If I do 5 clears, it unlocks something. This is probably pretty good. I have the other prerequisites for it. So I think I'll just do that. I'll report back when I get on my 5th clear, though, because it seems like I can more or less just idle. I didn't have to manual eat at any of those phases just because I'm so overwhelmingly powerful right now. But cool to have finally done that. 5 Into the Mist clears also lets me do the Stronghold of the Gods, which I think I only need to have 99 hit points to be completely safe in. I mean, it uses a lot of food, but I could run that here a couple times just to try to get the early, easy enhancements because they might be worth using at other pieces of content. The idea of this dungeon with all the random fights from the rest of the game is really cool. I like it a lot. All right, so we got to do melee versus her, and it should be fine. It should be much easier now, too, that I have this. Oh, I need to equip that in every slot. Shoot. Do I have extra hooks? I guess I can manually unequip it from each of these each time. That's a little annoying, but that's okay. I'll just do that. Since this is the only time I can just run magic for the rest of it, this is the only time I have to use a specific combat style. Okay. Okay, got a second clear just fine. I'm just going to do this 3 more times. Move the one item around, but that's okay. Third clear, no problem. 2 to go. It feels like Mark for Death specifically exists to keep you from just spam eating, because your damage reduction would get so low that you would get one shot if you just held down spam eat, which is interesting. I think of the 3 phases, melee is by far the scariest. Okay, one more clear. All right, that should be the last clear here. Should just be fine. It seems like the Cloudburst staff, like, pretty much just deletes her before she can become a problem. Got it. Nice. And you get a free pet, which is cool. Plus 2 damage. 2% damage to all monsters is pretty good. And then also I can buy this guy, which will make it really great if I keep swapping agility obstacles. It'll just be free. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do a quick clear of Stronghold of the Gods just for fun. I think I probably have enough resources to do one clear. Sure, I have auroras and curses and stuff turned on. All right. Yeah, let's do a run. I think some of the enhancement drops are crazy good. Pretty cool that you fight the different gods in here and they still drop their usual drops. So that'll help me to get to 500 KC if I end up having to farm the stronghold for a long time. And it's only, one god clear per run, but I feel like it doesn't take that much longer than running the individual god dungeons. Pretty convenient. My understanding is that it's completely idleable. I don't have to switch combat styles for Arenia, so I'll just AFK through it and hopefully delete it pretty fast. I don't think Mark of Death really does anything here because of everything being pure damage. I mean, it is draining my damage reduction, but they ignore damage reduction by default, so I think Affliction is still a problem. That might be a problem in like the Superior Stronghold. If I'm not strong enough, it might just lose to the time limit, essentially. But we'll see. We have to get this first clear. No problem. God's Enhancement Scroll. Unfortunately, it didn't get doubled. Let's see. Chance to ignore stun, freeze, or crystallize. That's okay. Right, so one of the enhancements from this place is just straight up plus 2% damage reduction, and another one is plus 4% max HP. So pretty important to get these. I definitely want to get the augmented version before I do too much other content, because I'm just going to have that equipped at everything. It would be lovely to get the Superior Sigil, but the place is probably nasty enough that it's a little scary at the moment. Fortunately, missed out on the double again. But I got a different one, so that's good. That's the damage reduction one too, which is pretty good. I think we go ahead and equip that and then put this on the third slot. Although not for this run, actually. Just occurred to me that damage reduction doesn't matter in the stronghold, but I'll probably want that in general. I think I got this about on rate. I finally got the square, which is max hit points, which is really good. That took me 8 clears, so a little over rate, because I think it's a 1 in 7, and it even includes doubling. So I'm going to equip those 3 items and go and do the augmented version. I just want to get the triangle and the square. I'm probably not going to bother with the superior one, because it's going to be a little harder than what I'd like to pursue at the moment. But I think this tier should still be relatively safe. Every enemy in the stronghold gets access to affliction, which is a little dangerous. But I think it's going to be okay, because they all have a pretty substantial damage penalty to make up for the affliction. I just have to make sure everything dies quickly, basically. Guess I have some tasks I can do, or a task I can do. Defeat Arenia. Okay. 5 to go. I should probably just push through and do these 5 tasks so I can open up the level 3 boxes. Let me try to figure out which ones I can do. I should be able to do the Jadestone one, no problem. Crossbows is another easy one, so that's 2 out of 5 covered. These would take a while. This one actually seems like it's going to take a really long time. You don't get that many Elder Dragon Hides for each run. Golbins would take a while. I think the Magic Tree Seeds would take a while. There's probably a couple things I could get away with in, like I could maybe do this Javelin one without spending too much time on it. Can maybe do the charcoal one since I have the superior fire making cape. That's 4. I think some of these Atlas of Discovery tasks with the Grumpy Willow are pretty doable too. I'll figure it out. The ranged Arenia is the one that I'm most worried about because I can actually build up a ton of affliction stacks, but I think it's okay because I think her max hit is 765 because of how high the damage penalty is. It does take me quite a while to get the kill here, but I don't think I'm ever going to be in danger of dying since these damage reduction penalties don't matter anyway. think actually this is completely safe if I do the math, because I think Affliction caps at 50 stacks, so it would be half of my max health. And the auto eat threshold on half of my max health would still be much higher than the biggest possible hit that Arenia can do. So I think the only problem with running this is that it's like very expensive, using so many runes per hour to do it. But it's pretty doable, is my point. And very lucky I got my first clear, got a double here. But unfortunately I got two of the same one, and it's the least useful one. That's okay. I am going to go ahead and grind out this because I think 2% damage reduction, 4% maximum hit points is really, really clutch for a lot of content. I might do one run of the Superior Stronghold just to see if I get spooned, since I'm owed a Stronghold spoon. But then I'll probably go finish up the Fire God dungeon, I think. Speaking of the Fire God dungeon, I've got 13 Scrolls of Ragnar here. I got 2 new items, the gloves and the helmet. That's kind of cool. And I think I have enough of these fire shards. Get anything good? No. Okay. Second clear also got double loot, also got double the worst one. Another double drop. All right. Just give me the good stuff, game. Another circle. I'm going to run out of runes before I get these things. Ooh, this is getting rough. This is getting real rough. I've got 9 of these now. So 9 rolls, all the same. So that makes me double dry on the triangle. I'm not dry on the square yet. That's 1 in 12. Okay, finally got the triangle, which is pretty good, but I think the hit points are even better, so I'm going to try to hold out. I might have to bail when I run out of runes, which will happen within a few runs, but maybe I'll get lucky. All right, I'm pretty dry. Well, not pretty dry. I'm over drop rate on the square now. So hopefully I don't run out of runes. I'm almost out of air runes. I can only do like a couple more runs, but I'm going to try and see if I can get it. It'll be my last attempt for now because I'm out of time and runes. So I think what I'll probably do is just AFK runes after this. I don't know if I want to do mist runes. I guess I can. I don't know if the Cloudburst staff works on those or if it's only affecting the water runes. I feel like the water rune stack hasn't really been shrinking. It's really air runes that I have a problem with. So maybe I'll just do air runes and make a ton of those. What I have been doing is quickly switching my gear over to all of my doubling stuff right when the boss is almost dead. That's like plus 40% chance to double, and having it double saves me so much time. It saves me like 20 minutes or something, so I think it's worth when I'm babysitting it to try to do that. And it doubled. Okay. Come on, square. Yeah, I'm pretty dry now. 20, I guess 24 would be double dry. Now look at the fire stuff. I did get the plate body, so that's cool. End up using that. And anything interesting from the fire chests? No. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna rune craft for 6 hours. I'm just gonna make a ton of errands. I think also if I'm able to maximize my preserve chance, which I think I can do, for a thing that's like chance to preserve staves. Yeah, I think these count. Maybe it doesn't count as a staff. Well, that's kind of annoying. It's 10% though. And then if I equip this and this, get it up to 78, that's probably good enough. If I make 10 of the different elemental imbued wands, I can turn that in for a township task that gives me a whole bunch of elemental runes, which would actually be really helpful. So I need 7 air runes, 8 water runes, 8 earth runes, and 8 fire runes. Let me see if I can get away with that here. The doubling's gonna help a little bit too. I should quickly make some candelabras. I might have some in my bank. Yeah, because it's a little bit of extra preservation chance. So I gotta babysit this here so I don't X. I'm trying to use my elite magic wands, you know. I need 10 of these. Let's see if it gets there. It's 10 water. So need one more earth. Okay. Overshot on Earth. Come on. There's the air. All right, got it. Didn't run out of elite ones. Oh, and this one I didn't see I had this too. 5 Arenia already done. And then this guy is a whole boatload of runes, which is wonderful. And I only need to do 3 more tasks after that, so I might come back and try to pick some things that I can do. It's not super urgent. I have to wait till winter's over to spend any of my storage anyway. I still think regardless, the thing to do here is to make air runes, because I'm going to, even though I just got 500k, I'm going to need like probably millions of them, so I'll let that run. Wow, 6 hours of runecraft only got me 700,000 air runes. That feels really bad, actually. Did I forget to equip something? I ran out of pros. Okay, that's part of the problem. Not the whole problem. Had this equipped. No, that was the big problem, was just running out of crow, but I still feel like that wasn't very many. Well, hopefully 1.2 million will last me a while. I'm going to head back into the Stronghold of the Gods here in a second. So many things you can forget in this game. One of the things I forgot was to re-equip the Superior Sigil here for chance to double items. It would only been 4%, so I don't think it would have got me that many extra. But still, kind of annoying. Happens, I guess. Still running all the right stuff here. Okay, good. Stronghold of the Gods. Thank you. Yes, please. Well, I got my first Ragnar God Sword. Not from the Fire God dungeon, from this. And am I getting anything else useful? I'm still running it. I haven't gotten the square. I'm pretty dry. I'm officially double dry now. I've got 24. I guess more than that. No, because I don't have those equipped. So yeah, I'm exactly double dry. Ugh, still no square. It's really brutal. I've gotten double drop on almost every kill too. We're at 28 now. Hey, I got the fighter ring. That one's actually pretty useful, I think. Here's the upgraded version. Finally got the square. Wow, that was awful. KC 40, or I guess chest number 40. Yeah, over triple dry. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do a run of the Superior Stronghold just to see how it goes. Probably not going to be great. And then I'm definitely going to switch to basically anything else. Maybe I'll do the Fire God dungeon. I think that's probably the best thing to do here. Well, I was going to say I'm going to try to equip myself a little bit better so that I don't die, but I don't think I'm in any real danger of dying. I am going to have it max affliction stacks most of the time, so I have to kind of pay attention to make sure that nothing has a attack with a max hit high enough to kill me. Yeah, my superior attempt here, it looks like the most damage anything's able to do is 1440, which even if I'm at 50% health, I should be fine, I think. It does take forever though, so I need to have tons and tons and tons of runes to have any chance of clearing this in a reasonable amount of time. What I'll probably do is just deal with having the augmented sigils, and we'll come back here later. Cleared my first run, and I got like 1 million GP for winning, but that's it. So super not worth it. I'm gonna bounce, and I guess I gotta gear up to go do the Fire God dungeon. I think we do that with ranged. I'll double check here in a second. Babysit this for a clear here. I should be completely fine though. This 4% max HP is amazing. My auto eat threshold is 5160 HP almost, which is really high. I don't know that I've seen any enemies that hit anywhere close to that hard. I'm going to try doing it with the ancient crossbow. That's what's recommended. I think I should have plenty of bolts to let that run overnight. I actually want the max cape because it gives me really, really substantial ammo savings. So yeah, let's just do the max cape. Puts me down a little bit on DPS compared to the infernal cape, but it's probably fine. Holy moly, apparently it's really good that I went for this God God's Enhancement 3, because this would not be possible. I guess I wouldn't be able to wear the max cape. I'd have to wear the Infernal cape to have enough damage reduction. I'm like just exactly enough DR to not die. So I'm gonna let this run overnight and we'll see how it's looking in the morning. Bye. All right, 10 hours of Fire God Dungeon. Got me 156 clears, which isn't too bad. Oh, I got the pet. 2% maximum hits, pretty good effect. Pretty happy with that. Finally got Battleborn too, which I think is just the prayer I'm going to use from now on. Interval reduction and enemy damage reduction down is pretty busted, I think. Okay. So what I need is, I'm going to go dry on these swords, aren't I? Got Big Ol' Ron, which is cool. Guaranteed loot doubling. I only got one extra Ragnar God sword. So yeah, I got all of the other swords on rate, and this is the one I'm going to go dry on. I'm not dry yet, but I might actually have to go to 500 KC here. I already have the rest of the Ragnar set. And then from Fire Shards, let's see what situation is here. Okay, plenty of rings, no amulet yet. Okay. Opened up another 66 scrolls of Ragnar, got another 2 God swords, so I just need one more to be done. I'll be able to make the UGS, which is going to be very exciting, I think. See if I get the necklace here. No. Hey, got the fighter amulet. Nice. Enemies are stunned for 1 attack when they deal damage. I think that's actually not super amazing. It's kind of underwhelming, but it's unique to get. Well, unfortunately, I have to go AFK for several hours here, and I still need just 1 sword to be done. I'm going to check. Did I get it? I almost certainly didn't, right? No. So I'm just going to AFK this. I guess if I do it for 4 hours, that should be enough to get the sword, I hope. I guess theoretically I could go dry on it, but I really hope I don't. All right, checking in post-stream on 4 hours of the Fire God Dungeon. 92 scrolls hopefully is enough here. Let's see. Ooh, oh, it's not. Okay. I was like, running this for 4 hours is going to be a total waste. Uh-oh, hopefully I'm not stuck here for a really long time. My kill count at? I think it's very hard. 342, okay. I think we're not like over rate or anything, but it would be really nice to get it because then I can just leave and make the ultimate greatsword. It's the last thing I need. I need 1 more Ragnar sword. Hey, finally got the God sword. Not dry on kills, but am slightly dry on item drops. It was like 500 and something. Where are they? Here we go. 524. And that's 1 in 100. So not super dry, not a big deal. But there's the ultimate God sword. That's what I was going for. That thing's really, really strong. I think the next thing I'm going to do is this Slayer area, the Dark Waters. We're going to fight Rockin. Drops Shockwave Fragments, which is the next like ranged upgrade that I want. And I think I can just fight that safely with melee with all of the stuff that I have together. So I'm going to put together a gear set for that and overnight it, I think. All right, I've been using this weapon for a little bit, and it rules. It's so good. I think it's even better because all of my percentage bonuses to attack interval are amazing when the base attack interval is 3.8 seconds, right? That's a pretty huge interval. It's already gotten reduced by over a second just from all of my stacking buffs here. But yeah, this just deletes this creature. I already have 2. I think I need a total of 100 drops, and it's 1 in 50. My loot doubling's not great enough, but I'll probably have enough if I let it run overnight, so I'm just going to do that. But really, really cool item. I love that it basically always does a cool special attack. I think it has a 5% chance to do a regular attack, but that always does a special attack otherwise. It's a pretty neat item. Checking in here after 2.5 hours, trying to get attack to 105 because there's an agility obstacle that's pretty good if I can get everything to 105, even though it's worse for the God Sword, obviously. Accrued 20 fragments, so maybe if I let it run overnight, I'll get the rest of the way to 100. We'll see. I guess it's going to depend a little bit on getting lucky drops here. Okay, I let this run overnight for close to 10 hours. Overkill on shockwave fragments, but that's all right. Attack 108 at my target was 105, so we're well in advance of that. I don't have to be on stab. I can switch to slash, which is much more accurate. This is great. I didn't really overshoot. Well, barely did by about 4 fragments, so timing worked out beautifully. Let me go assemble these guys. This is apparently a really, really good. I think it's just strictly better than the ancient crossbow. It has the same ranged evasion effect too, which is nice. I think what I'm going to try to do, because I have to go AFK for almost the entire day today, so I can't really hop around to different activities. So I think I'm going to do the Stronghold of the Gods with melee. That should save me lots of resources. Because I do want to get that Superior Sigil. Max hit points and DR on the same slot would be really, really nice. Let me quickly do some of my other homework. Like, I guess it's spring now, so I can repair everything. Oh, and I glossed over it, but I got 120 prayer, so that's pretty cool. Eventually, when I have the superior, I guess I'll grab the superior prayer skill cape. I'm never going to equip it. 75% prayer point cost down. That would be mildly convenient once we have that. I've got plenty of prayer points. All right, let's try the superior stronghold and see how it goes. All right, melee works great here. Obviously, it's really slow. I get like maybe 4 kills an hour, but I can do that. I can just let that run. I think the benefit of having this superior sigil is too good to pass up. And then I'll train melee, I suppose. I'm glad that I got the ultimate god sword before attempting anything like this. Just checking in on 3 hours of Stronghold of the Gods here. Probably didn't get anything. Level ups, but that's it, right? Looking forward to getting 120 hit points. Thing I won't have to worry about anymore. Yeah, no drop yet, but that don't expect one. All right, 7 hours of Stronghold of the Gods should be like 28 clears. Probably didn't get the drop. Doesn't look like it. Oh, 37 clears actually. Bad. Strength 113. No superior sigil yet, but I'm not dry, right? Yeah, I haven't even gotten to 100, including all of the runs I had to do of the standard and augmented run. So I think I have to calculate how many clears I've done of the superior stronghold. I have to look at gods. I guess times found doesn't really help me because it's doubleable, right? Well, anyway, I'm not at drop rate, so I'll let this run overnight and see what I get to in the morning. All right, checking in on 10 hours of this. Strength 115, hit points 113. No drop. Lots of clears, though. I still don't think I'm quite... Well, no. Now I might be dry. Crazy. I'm going to go dry on every single stronghold. It's kind of impressive to be able to have done that every single time. I guess I haven't gotten my 100 clears on Stronghold of the Dragons, so maybe I'll go into that one and immediately get spooned on it. Well, on the plus side, I finally got the Guardian Amulet from running Stronghold of the Gods. So I now have, I think I have enough to do everything. I've got 10 of each ring. I've got every amulet. Good. Actually, I still need one more Warlock ring. Let's see if I still need the Guardian ring as well. Got 19 Guardian rings. Yeah. And I've got plenty of Deadeye rings, plenty of Fighter rings. So one more Warlock ring would clutch it, and then I wouldn't need drops from any of them anymore. All right, checking in again after another 7 hours. Let's see if we got this superior sigil thing. Yes, I did. I got 2 of them, which is fantastic. I won't have to come back here. I don't know if it got doubled or I just actually got 2 of them. I didn't get the pet though, but I am okay to not have the pet. Very nice. This is an excellent sigil. I'll probably just have it equipped forever. And I guess that means if I have 2 that I can smoothly switch between at least 2 sets. Probably eventually want to have 3 of all the superior sigils, but I don't want to do that right now. I will let this run finish here. think I ended up getting the 10 Warlock rings. Yeah, so I think I have all of the loot I could ever conceivably need from the God dungeons now. So I got to figure out a new activity to work on since this is done. I'll stare at some of my combat options and pick something. All right, there's some tasks I can do involving these Dark Waters Slayer monsters, so I guess I'll just do those while I'm thinking about another bigger task to AFK here. I guess I'd want to have this guy equipped. Yeah, because that brings us down to 0%, and then I probably also want to switch to the mage thing for rune preservation. Okay. And I'm already doing water surge, which is great. And let's do surge 2 and anguish 2. All right, cool. I'll just let this run for a bit. Running the Stronghold of the Gods that many times got me to 500 Ragnar kills, and I'm short of 500 Terran kills, so it's maybe worth going and clearing the Earth dungeon 54 times. I don't really want to do that, but it is a task complete, and I only need 3 more tasks to get the tier 3 boxes, so since that one's accessible, this one's accessible, and then I guess also Glacia is accessible. Right now, part of the reason I'm doing this Slayer task in the Dark Waters is I only need to get 1 of each of these items to complete a whole task. That's probably a little bit easier than like killing Glacia 100 times. Spent a bunch of Slayer points really quick to fully upgrade the Wizard set here. So that's level 2, and this is level 3. And then this should be Master. Probably use one of these. I have to be a little careful with my damage reduction here that I don't kill myself. But I think if I equip one piece, I'm not at risk of dying. If I look on the Can I Idle It page, this particular enemy with magic, I should be checking right. I only need 36% damage reduction, and I have 48, so I think I can actually equip all the Slayer gear and be completely safe. That should be fine. Okay, I think what I'm going to do, so I could do Into Darkness or whatever, the Impending Darkness event, but I think instead I'm going to try to get the AOD expansion done, because I think if I go too deep into Throne of the Herald, that a lot of those content from AOD becomes irrelevant. So that there is a distinct progression that I need to do there. I need to clear dungeons in a certain order to get items to improve my gear. I've already cleared the Unholy Forest. I think I have to do Trickery Temple. I think I have to get like 1 clear on Trickery Temple. I already have, no, I haven't cleared it yet. Which is a little dangerous because I think the enemies in there do like damage reflection, and like their max hit is based on my max hit. So what I'm going to have to do is try to minimize my max hit by using like throwing knives or something, and then just try to clear it. So I'm going to try to put a gear set together for that. All right, since I only need to do 1 clear, I'm just going to do Protect Item and Holy Aegis. I'm probably completely fine, but I don't really want to risk it at all. So this is the Trickery Temple that I have to get 1 clear at. Just going to try to monitor here. Their damage dealt, 50% reflect damage. It's pretty scary. Do annoyingly have to wait for barrier to proc here because I don't have a lot of great sources of barrier damage. But if it's just 1 clear, that should be pretty accessible, I think. I guess I'll report when I get to the final boss. These are all enemies I've seen elsewhere. Damage equal to 5,000% of your defense level. Not too bad, but the door is damaged based on max HP. Global evasion increase kind of sucks, but thankfully we have the diamond luck potions. Another enemy that does damage based on my max hit, but also not super scary. I think it's only the starting mirrors that do the reflect thing. That is still pretty scary. Like, if I came in here with the Ultimate God Sword, I would just nuke myself, I think. Final boss is the Puppet Master. I think I'm completely safe. Normal damage, 4,000 damage. 100% of my max hit. Disables all damage from your attack until the end of the attack. Okay. So 100% of my max hit. I guess it's still allowing for damage reduction here, so I probably didn't need to equip these things, but since I'm only doing one clear, it doesn't really make sense to overdo it. I think I might eventually come back here because there might be other drops that you can get here later. All right, so run away, and then trickery chest. Some of the summoning defender, summoner's defender, I'm probably gonna have to come back for later. Let's see if I get lucky. Probably not. Barrier eroding amulet. Actually, I don't know if that's better than the lesser summoning amulet. Gives you 10% max hit, 10% summoning max hit, and attack interval down. Whereas this, don't know if that's better. I guess I can try it. But the main reason for clearing the Trickery Temple is that now I can do the Cult Grounds, which is substantially safer. I don't think I have to worry at all about reflect damage or max hit killing me. So let me reassess my gear and then do that. I think the Cult Grounds are completely safe, but I'll monitor a kill here. Maybe I can move some items around. There's probably better stuff I can use. Seems like you still generally want to use range as to get your chance to hit as high as possible. Like I could probably come in here with the Ultima God Sword, but the reason that sucks is because most of the enemies are magic. And that would bring my base accuracy down, which would make it harder for my familiar to hit. And if my familiar can't hit them successfully, then I sit here waiting much longer for their barrier to get depleted. But it looks like these first enemies are pretty trivial. Second enemy, the Cult Imp, just poisons you. It doesn't seem like it's a particularly big deal. Although the max hit penalty kind of sucks, especially on your summon. Next enemy is the Lich, which isn't a direct threat. Weakening Touch is a penalty to accuracy, which sucks. But is otherwise pretty absorbable. As you can see, I'm basically out of tortoises, so I'm going to have to bounce out of here to make as many of those as I possibly can before I seriously continue with this dungeon. But I think I'm just going to have to AFK this dungeon for a really long time, because this drops the material I need to upgrade all of my God Gear into God Gear B. That's a little scary, especially given that he can stun you. Like 1.3 times the damage on that. But everything else that he does isn't too bad. Final boss seems fine, not really a threat, and I forgot to equip this eroding barrier gem, which should make this a little bit better than the agile gem. I was slowing things down pretty substantially. All right, that's one clear. Show that I can do it. It should be completely fine. But before I continue, let me go. That sucks. Let me go make a bunch of tortoise tablets. Going to be slower, but I think the main thing I care about here is preserving barrier gems because I have such a limited number of them. I mean, I guess 11,000 is not that limited, but like, do I take this gear set to do this faster? I think I'm just going to let it run for a bit. It should be fine. I already make a decent chunk for each craft. All right, I think I let this run long enough. I've got like 142,000 tortoises. It's probably enough to overnight it. So I'm going to re-gear back up, and we're going to go just run this dungeon, probably overnight. Cult Grounds. I'm going to monitor it for a bit, because if I get some early drops, it can speed things up pretty substantially, but it's going to be pretty slow at the beginning. Haven't gotten any interesting drops yet. The Barrier Exalted Shard is one of the main things I'm here for. I think I need a bunch of those, and then also, let's see. It's like that, plus the siphoning barrier gem, but I'm gonna have to use at least one of those siphoning barrier gems. It's a pretty substantial upgrade once I get it. So I think I'm just gonna try to babysit this until I get enough drops to be able to upgrade one of my armor pieces. I think even just having one of my pieces upgraded makes this way faster. I'm popping out of here for a quick sec to go back to the Golem dungeon for a little bit, because I should be able to clear it super fast. Basically, I want to upgrade these barrier sapping gloves. I just want to have as much barrier destruction as I can. So I think I can, well, does this dungeon have, I don't remember if it has some kind of reflect damage aspect to it. Let me double check. Reflect damage is a problem here, but I guess I want to find out if I can actually die because of it. So I'm going to throw on protect item, because I'd love to just go in here with the Ultima God Sword and fuck the place up, right? But I don't know if that's actually possible. So Golem territory, I think basically every enemy has 50% reflect damage. I don't know that it even lets me know how much I'm risking reflecting here. My understanding is that if I hit for 14,000, that it hits me for 7,000, and then that's reduced by 65%, right? I guess depending on what I'm attacking. Oh, but that's 25,000. Okay, that might be too much. I guess I could just, if I'm just manually trying to run it to get this, I could just run it until I get the drop that I'm going for. Oh, hey, I got the Golem Territory pet. I've been here for a while. I haven't gotten a single drop of what I'm here for. Yeah, even that. I just opened 9 of them. I think like super dry. It should be like 1 in 20 to get between 2 and 6 of the gems that I'm here for, and they just won't drop. I also sat down. I finally just did the math. It's impossible for me to die here. I was worried about this reflect damage killing me because of me hitting so hard, but how hard I hit doesn't really matter because I can't hit harder than their max health, right? And so if I multiply their max health by 50% and my damage reduction, then none of them can kill me. And I'm using big ol' Ron here because it's guaranteed to double loot, and they're not really strong enough that the Ultima God Sword really makes that much of a difference. Finally got a Draining Barrier gem drop. I only have 5 of them now. This is an item that a really long time ago, you might remember, I used them to make my first ever tortoise tablet because I just really quickly wanted to make sure I could continue to get tortoise tablets. And I'm like, I'm probably going to regret that later, and I do now. But hopefully it's possible that it can drop 5 in a single chest. So maybe I'll just get lucky and the next kill will drop 5. We'll see. Man, I am crazy dry right now. I've gotten 104 golem chests, so on average I should have gotten this like barrier gem to drop about 5 times, and it's only ever dropped once. So like quadruple dry almost. I was hoping to just pop over here and get this upgrade to the gloves and move on, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think I have to bail from this project, so I'm not committing the sunk cost fallacy, because I will eventually be able to make a better pair of gloves than this upgraded pair of gloves that I'm trying to get. But it feels so bad because like the chance of it dropping is pretty high, especially since I get 2 drops every kill with big old Ron equipped. I don't know. I've already been here for so long. That's a sunk cost fallacy. I'm just going to continue to commit the sunk cost fallacy. I just want to go to bed. When this thing drops, I'm going to equip it. I'm going to upgrade my gloves. I'm going to go to the cult grounds and then go to bed and see how much stuff we get by the morning. But this was supposed to be done like 2 hours ago. Still here. Still on sunk costs. Wanted to go to bed a while ago. My current nightmare is that it's finally going to drop, and it's going to drop 3. And the reason why 3 would be bad is because then I'm being punished for the 2 that I used to make a tortoise tablet like several hundred hours ago. That was like months ago that I did that. I had this like feeling in my stomach like, oh, this is probably a mistake, but whatever. I'm sure I'll be able to farm that dungeon really effectively eventually. Ooh, finally got it to drop. And it did drop exactly 5, so we're good. We're safe. Just to see how dry I was, because I was really dry before that second drop. 159 chests, 2 drops. It's more like a 1 in 25. So I went like 100 kills dry. I guess I'll finish this clear, and then I'll make the gloves, and then I'm going to overnight the cult grounds. Yeah, so here's the gloves upgrade. It's actually pretty good. An extra 200 flat barrier damage and an extra 5% summoning familiar damage. So I think that that's worth going for if I'm going to be really running the cult grounds a lot, which it seems I'm going to have to. Okay, now I'm going to stay online until I get one of the barrier gems to drop, because that's also going to be a really huge upgrade that is relatively common from this dungeon. I hope that I'm going to... Okay, yeah, the gem is a 5% chance. Uh-oh, that's a 1 in 20. A little bit better than the 1 in 25 I was going for earlier. And also the Summoner's Blessed Ring, I think, is much better than this Ring of Barrier Touch, and that is also about a 5% drop chance. So I would take either. Really need the Siphoning Barrier Gem, that's the main reason I'm here, but if I take either, then I would feel comfortable going to bed and AFKing this overnight. Well, I got the rarest item before getting one of the gems. 100% of your max hit points plus 4% of the target's current hit points. So, don't think that's very good. I don't know. I guess 13,000 damage isn't bad, or it wouldn't have been bad a long time ago. It's kind of bad now, actually. It sounds like it's a lot. I guess it's not guaranteed to hit, but it's a 100% chance to activate. Probably still not worth doing. Actually, I misread this. It says 100% of your max hit, not max hit points. So that's potentially really good since it's one-handed. Maybe we use that instead of the Cloudburst staff anywhere that I have to have a shield. It's interesting. All right, I just got the Summoner's Blessed Ring. That's one of the 5% drops. Now I just have to hold out for the gem drop. This is pretty good with the reduction in the summoning familiar attack interval, since that really governs everything you can do here. 0.3 seconds. You can't do any damage until your summon attacks at a certain number of times, so that's about as strong as it gets, I think. There we go. Got a barrier gem drop. I got 4 of them at once, which is pretty good. So we're going to use one of those immediately. That's already an upgrade over the one I was using previously. And then since I got a large enough drop, it might already be possible for me to upgrade one of my pieces here. Yeah, I just need 2,000 imbued Dragonite bars, which I think I can make. I'm going to let this run finish up here. I'll clear it once. And I think I just have to pop over to smithing, and with got plenty of resource preservation. Yeah. And a decent amount of barrier dust from earlier grinds. I should be able to make a good chunk of these. All right, let me make these imbued bars. Hopefully the 80% savings does a lot of good for me here. And then I'll upgrade my Eris helmet, and then we're just going to AFK it the rest of the night, like I've been saying I was going to do for a while. Turns out it seems like it's balanced around having 80% preservation chance, because I'm going to run out of this barrier dust really fast. I will end up farming more of it. I guess the way you farm it is just in the regular combat area. It's the same enemies that you end up fighting in the Cult Grounds dungeon, but you fight them in a place where they can actually drop stuff. But I just need to get the one upgrade for now. All right, it took a minute, but now I can upgrade into the Eris God Helmet B. And then what do I need to make that a Helmet C? More Barrier God Shards and a plain Pure Crystal Helmet. Okay, but I guess getting it up to C isn't super important. It doesn't really make it substantially better. It's the same barrier damage. It just lets me ignore Crystal Sanction. And I guess it's a chance to apply Crystallize, which is kind of cool, but not as urgent as getting the B gear. All right, so re-gearing back up and AFKing this overnight. Yeah, just having one of these is pretty huge. 40% summoning familiar damage added as extra damage to barrier, plus 650 flat barrier damage. So you melt through that barrier quite a bit faster, even just with one item. So hopefully I'll be able to fully upgrade the Eris gear, and then I'm going to have to do the same for my Terran gear and my Glacia gear. So I'll probably be here longer than one night. So, I'm still here, right? I said I was going to bed, and then immediately at the end of that run, I got another Siphoning Barrier gem drop. So I'm quickly making another batch of Dragonite bars so I can upgrade the Eris boots, and then I'll go to bed, for real. There we go. 2,000 imbued Dragonite bars, so then I can go here and upgrade you. Great. Now I've got 2 pieces of that enhanced gear. Just gonna let that run for real this time. All right, I let Cult Grounds go for 9 hours. How we doing? 2 range levels, 286 ritual chests. Okay, let's see. Oh, and I got the pet. That's good. Pretty decent pet. Need to get magic to 105 still to unlock a agility obstacle. That's pretty useful. All right, let's open all these. Nice to get a big boost of stuff. So I think I've got one of everything that you can get from this place. I think having that many clears and only having 40 barrier gems is a little alarming. It might be enough for me to upgrade. Well, it should be enough for me to upgrade my ranged gear. I already have the helmet, so I have to get the plate legs. 6 and 3 and 2000. Plate body. 10 and 5 and 2000. Okay, so I'll at least be able to do my Eris gear, but I'm worried that that's not going to be enough to get all my gear. So I'm probably going to have to stay here for quite a bit longer. I think I have an Atlas of Discovery task done now. Yeah, defeat 100 Soul Taker, which is done. Really only 2 tasks to turn in now. All right, making these imbued bars. I have enough to make the plate legs. So that is done. I have the helmet, the plate legs, and the boots. Just need to do the plate body now. Now, I don't know if I have enough barrier dust. I might run out before getting back up to 2000 again, but maybe preservation will save me here. Let's see. Preservation didn't quite carry me to another set here. I'm a little bit short. I need to get to another 2000 imbued Dragonite bars. I only have about 1700, so I think I'm going to have to go fight cult members. Should be okay. I don't need to get too much more to be able to get the full Eris set. And then once the Eris set is done, I have to figure out what I'm doing next. I might go to the Dragon's Den dungeon to try to get the U Dragonhide gloves, which would be a little silly because I just went to all that trouble to upgrade the barrier draining gloves, and that's just a replacement for that. But I thought that was going to be a quick grind and couldn't escape the sunk cost fallacy. But I kind of want to finish the other god set pieces, like the Terran set next before I do too much else. Yeah, so let's re-equip. And I'm going to head out to the combat area, right? The ritual site, cult member. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Once I have my set fully upgraded, I think the plan is to go back to Trickery Temple because there's a couple drops there that are pretty good. I do have to do it with the Ancient Throwing Knives, make sure I don't kill myself on reflect damage. But it should still be quite a bit faster now because I have all of this barrier damage. All right, upgrading my last Eris piece there. Here we go. Now have full Eris B, which is like pretty substantial amount, like 160% damage to barrier, which is going to make a pretty big difference, I think. All right, so I'm going to gear up to do, we're just going to do like 60 or so clears at Trickery Temple, depending on how I do on the drop rate. Like the pet for completing this dungeon is really good. It gives you extra max HP. It's only like 100 max HP, but that's still a pretty big deal with the way this game works. So probably worth hanging out here until I get the pet. Well, I got the Summoner's Defender to drop, which I think I'm actually going to use. Also passive slot compatible, which is interesting. But this gives me a little bit, like 10% extra damage to barrier. And I guess a little bit of defense bonus, whereas this only gives 10% damage to barrier. So maybe I put that in the passive slot instead. Could help a bit with summoning attack interval. It's going to get it down to 2.4 seconds. I think the barrier system is kind of interesting. I don't know. It feels a little bad that your earliest attacks are useless while you're waiting for barrier to drain. I guess it can still let you build up buffs and stuff. Like these are going up every time. Well, I got the rarest item from this place. I think it's the dungeon gem. I believe I eventually need 5 of these to make this super gem, which I'll go for eventually. It's not a huge priority at the moment. But I don't have I think it's the barrier burn shield is the main thing I want from Trickery Temple. One thing that's cool is that I can put something in the passive slot as long as it's a differently named item. So if I can get one more Summoner's Defender, I currently have 2, I can combine it with some of my Knight's Defenders to make a Knight Summoning Defender and equip both that and the Defender in the passive slot to get my summoning interval even shorter. I think that's as low as I can take it. That'll be minus 30%, so I think it'll go down to like 2.1 seconds, but really speeds up the kills a lot to have the barrier wiped out much faster. All right, just got my 4th Summoner's Defender drop, so let's go ahead and upgrade this into a Knight's Summoning Defender. And then I think even with the damage reduction penalty, I can safely just go ahead and equip this and have both effects running now. Let me just watch to make sure that there's nothing that can one-shot me because of the damage reduction penalty, but I didn't have any damage reduction on the shield I was previously wearing. Yeah, and that brings the summoning interval down to 2.1 seconds with this guy in the passive slot, so that's pretty good. Could stay here for the barrier burn shield. I think it's less useful now, though. The reason to stay here for that shield is that I will be doing content at some point where the damage reduction penalty on this defender is gonna get me killed. Which would not be great, obviously. So it would be nice to have a shield that I can equip. But I think that generally, if I'm able to get away with the interval reduction, because it's minus 30% summoning interval reduction, it really clears that barrier way faster. So I want to equip it if I can. Hey, I got the pet. That's really great. I might not stay for the barrier burn shield, but I have like 20 minutes to keep running here before I need to AFK for stream. So I'm just going to see if I happen to get the shield, and if I don't, I'm probably going to end up just using the defender anyway, and I can come back for it later. But another 100 hit points is pretty sick. Okay, no dice getting the shield, but I don't actually need it right now. I'm just going to re-gear up with Shockwave somewhere. There we go. I think that this setup should still be fine for the cult grounds, and I'm just going to let that run for a bunch of hours. We'll see how it goes. Checking in on 4 hours of running this dungeon. I might be good now. I have 170 chests. Wow. Almost got enough imbued Dragonite bars right there just to be able to make another piece. Probably going to have to, let's see, I only got 15 siphoning barrier gems. I think I might still have enough stuff here that it's going to be possible for me to make all my gear sets. I think it takes about 15 barrier gems per set. So I could do 15 for the Terran set, 15 for the Glacia set, and then if I wanted to do Ragnar, I could do another 15 for Ragnar. So yeah, I think I'm probably done with this place now. I'll let this run finish, and then I'm going to go farm the guys that drop the barrier dust that I'll need to start making the Terran gear. All right, I AFK'd long enough to get another 2,500 or so barrier dust. We'll see how far that carries me. I need to get another 8,000 imbued Dragonite bars to make the Terran set, which might speed up getting barrier dust a bit, because then I can use the big ol' Ron loot doubling weapon and get twice as much per kill. Because right now I'm doing it with ranged, which is a little bit slower. I think trying to finish out, well, I can do 49 more kills at the Treachery Temple, which would get me another task complete, and then I only need to do one more task after that. That's pretty achievable, but I already have the pet from there, and the only reason to do that place otherwise is to get the barrier shield thing. I have to decide if I actually want to do that. I think that shield is less good now that I have the 2 defenders. Probably other easier tasks I could do. Like I'm gonna have to do this eventually, but it's just gonna take so long. All these Elder Dragons. Also don't really want to do this Terran one. I'd probably get the Jade Stones for this relatively painlessly if I were to focus on it really soon. I can probably do this Adamant Crossbow, Rune Crossbows. Maybe I'll just do that, because then I just won't think about these tasks ever again. Because I don't think there's anything else to unlock after you get to 110 tasks complete, and it would be great to get it out of my mind. So I'm going to make these bars, make as many as I can, and then I might try to wrap up these tasks here. All right, first things first, upgrading the Terran God helmet. Well, let's see if I can get a second one here before I run out of barrier dust. Probably not. All right, grind continues here with imbued Dragonite. I think I can do 2 more pieces of Terran gear. So I already have the helmet. Make sure I don't have any other gear that I've already made that I forgot about. Okay, so let's do the boots next. And then the plate legs. And then I only need 1 more piece. Hopefully I can get to 2,000 without running out of dust here. Let's see what happens. All right, it carried me to another 2,000 bars. So now I just need the plate body, which is right here. Upgrade. Fantastic. All right, I still eventually want to upgrade these to C, which requires, oh man, I need, already out of God shards? Oh, God shards. That's a different kind of shard. It's the same kind of gem, but a different kind of shard. Okay, I see. I need to keep going because I have to get enough gear to at least make my Glacia set, if not also my Ragnar set. But now that I have a full melee set, I can go do, where is it? This imp instead. He's got a little bit more health and a little bit more barrier, but I think if I fight him with Big Ol' Ron and guaranteed to get doubling, I should get the dust a bit faster. So I'm going to do that. All right, this imp's pretty good. I think I'm actually, now that I have this set, I should actually be able to handle the Mermaid Archer, who drops this bow is apparently amazing, but mainly this Devouring Barrier gem would be an upgrade if I can get it. So I might just fight her long enough to get that. I think the idea is that that bow is incredible, and it makes it really easy to get this. Oh, wait, maybe, is it the Merman? Makes it easy to get the Water Pulse Staff, which is better than the Cloudburst Staff. And then the Staff makes it really easy to get the Hasty Trident, which is arguably better, well, maybe at least competitive with the UGS. But that bow is going to be amazing if I can get it from the Mermaid Archer. So I'm going to try to fight her in a second. I have to make sure that my damage reduction situation is completely safe, though. Let me do my usual thing of just going in with Protect Item just in case I need to move some shit around here. Go ahead and use the UGS. That's fine. Mermaid Archer. So she has one attack that hits for 78, 77. That's not good. Let me try to build for DR here. Hold on. Okay, I really had to equip not as exciting gear here to have a chance to not have her one-shot me. I don't think so. She has a chance to ignore stun, but she personally doesn't stun me, I don't think. Normal damage, interval down, max hit. Starts with stacks, removed each time she's hit. Gives her damage reduction from a regular attack. Yeah, so I'm within my threshold now. Don't think anything here can really help me. I think that the UGS is going to do the majority of my damage. I just have to wait a while, unfortunately, for barrier to get depleted. So I think I can safely unequip Protect Item and just use this to get a little bit more accuracy to make sure that my summoning attack hits as hard as possible. Okay, this should be doable. I'm just going to do this at least until I get the Devouring Barrier gem. It's kind of tempting to try to fight her overnight because I think that the rate at which she drops the bow is like really uncommon. 9 in 16,000. Okay, so what is that actually? 16,510 divided by 9, so it's 1 in 1,800. So it's like going for, not quite as bad as going for the Dragon Warhammer, but it's pretty rare. I think overnighting her is maybe reasonable. She also drops 16 barrier dust, so that I need barrier dust anyway. That's my main bottleneck right now. And everything else she drops I don't really care about. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna overnight her. I'll babysit it for a little bit just to see if I can get this gem to drop. Okay, finally got a Devouring Barrier gem. Not quite triple dry, but close to it. Let's go ahead and equip that. That's the best in slot gem for barrier combat. And I'm tempted to throw on a damage reduction potion and just try the dungeon. I'm probably still not geared enough for it, but the dungeon has a really good drop. It's like a 5% chance that I can use to upgrade the Earth Shield or whatever, which will also give it a pretty substantial bonus to barrier. I might die if I go in there, so if I try it, I'm going to go ahead and throw on Protect Item just to see if anything has a particularly scary max hit. I'm still probably going to end up overnighting the Mermaid Archer, though, because I really, really want that Engulfing Vortex Longbow. It seems like it is too ranged as the Ultima God Sword is to melee, it seems like. Okay, we're going to go give this a try. All right, so first enemy in the underwater city is Merman. He's magic-based. It's probably going to take me a bit longer to kill him because I'm using the damage reduction potion, which might be unnecessary, but I want to just do a run with it before I try anything more extreme. I did go ahead and go to the cartography location that makes you immune to slow. It might not actually be the best thing, but being slowed with the Ultimate God Sword is terrible. It like sets your attack speed to 4.5 seconds or something crazy. So just being immune to it, I would probably take over the accuracy bonus. I guess I'll report when I get to a different enemy here, but this one seems like it's completely safe to fight. Okay, the mage enemies are dead. The archer should be completely fine because I'm pretty sure it's the same enemy from the ruins with a little bit more health. The enemy I'm worried about here is the final boss, which I guess is like hits really, really hard. I think if I can deal with that, I'll try to do a run with the Diamond Luck Potion instead of the damage reduction potion, just to see if I'm in range to not die. All right, so this guy I haven't fought before. He's technically melee, and his max hit isn't dangerous enough. I guess he can attack really, really fast, but he doesn't like stun me or anything, so I think he's completely safe to kill. Okay, Treacherous Jellyfish is a little bit scarier. 4,400 damage is a lot. You can put me to sleep for 2 turns, which I think when I'm put to sleep, I take extra damage, so I have to actually see him successfully land that on me to see what that does to my damage taken. I guess I could like look it up, right? Sleep as a status effect. 20% increased damage. It's 5284. Oh my god, that's the max hit is 1 higher. You got to be fucking kidding me. That would not make me feel safe running this dungeon. I would need to get 1 HP level. All right. Well, my plan wasn't to like AFK this dungeon overnight anyway, because I'm gonna be trying to get the engulfing longbow. I'll hopefully get 115. That's even with that pet I just got that gave me an extra 100 hit points. I'm 1 HP away from being out of one-shot range. I guess the likelihood that I get one shot has got to be like astronomically low, because it would have to specifically hit me for that max hit the moment after it puts me to sleep, and it would be rolling a number between 1 and 5,284. So it would have to, it probably can't happen outside of like AFKing the dungeon for a really long time. I guess all of this might be moot. Like I might get to the final boss, and the final boss is going to hit me for 6,000 or something, and I shouldn't worry about it. But that's crazy that I'm like 1 HP away. I would love to get lucky and get this shield upgrade. It's like a 1 in 20 drop. Probably not going to get it. It would be cool though. The barrier god shards that are guaranteed to drop from this place. Okay, let's see. What are all our max hits here? Is he actually less scary? 60% normal damage. Oh, but gives plus 2% max hit and plus 0.1% max hit for each 1% of target current hit points remaining. So like this attack potentially hits like a fucking truck. But I guess because the final boss is ranged, my really substantial damage reduction difference makes it completely safe. So this one's not actually the dangerous boss. It's the jellyfish is the thing I have to worry about. And because the jellyfish is already almost killing me, that means I probably can't get away with not using the DR potion. Yeah, I got the drop doubled, so that's really good. Barrier igniter potion. That's the only way I'm ever going to get those. Those are like a horrible idea to try to craft. 4 charges per use. Jesus. So bad. It's really, really bad. So I was able to do a clear. It was pretty messy. I guess I'll do one more just for shits and giggles, and I think I'm going to go to bed fighting this mermaid archer. Probably the way to go. That way I can just get a little bit more HP. I didn't realize that this dungeon has a slowly stacking slow effect, because I tried popping over and changing my cartography look. I think that slow immunity, it's this one. it increases your attack interval by 0.2 seconds, but it gives you total immunity to slow. I think that that's like borderline mandatory for this dungeon. The wiki doesn't mention it, but it's really, really strong. And it only works that way if you have completely maxed out cartography to get the double effect, to get the actual pure immunity to slow. Okay, my second clear had no significant drops, so we're just going to call it there. I'm going to keep going with this Mermaid Archer. God, you need a ton of these Barrier God shards to get the C upgrade. It's kind of nice, I guess. The ability, like the chance to apply crystallization, I think it amounts to a 4% chance to stun the enemy. Seems like it's pretty expensive for something that's kind of mild. I mean, I guess the idea is that then you can go to, there's like one of these combat areas that's Slayer oriented, right? You can do the crystal depths without having to use the crystal gear specifically, but I feel like you already get more than enough crystal binding dust just by going in there with the normal crystal gear. You don't really have to go back there for any significant reason. Anyway, I'm going to AFK this. I have a feeling I'm going to wake up in the morning and not have the bow drop. So I'm just going to try to run this for as long as I can until I get it. And then probably take the bow to fight. I think it's the regular merman we want to fight next. Yeah, because he drops the water pulse staff and also the second half of the merman pendant, which I think is going to be amazing when I finally go for the 42,000 goblin kills, because it like drops your attack interval to like nothing. So yeah, see you in hours. All right, did this for 7 hours. Hey, I got the drop. That's pretty cool. Under rate too. Only got 1,296 kills. I guess it probably got doubled rather than me getting 2 of them. All right, I'm gonna recalibrate my gear to go do the mage enemy then. Did not get a hit points level, but I'm getting pretty close to one. All right, I have this fancy bow equipped. Yeah, when people say it's basically the ranged equivalent of the UGS, I can see why. Constantly hitting 10 times in a row. This guy has way less damage, so I can equip some better gear here, which is nice. I put on protect item just in case, but I think that even if he stuns me here, there's like 0 risk of me dying. So we're going to try to get his water pulse staff drop, and merman pendant is the objective. All right, I just hit 115 hit points. Don't have the staff from this guy yet, but it's, 1 in 2,000 or so, so pretty rare. But the extra hit point level should mean that I can survive the dungeon, and there is a lot of stuff that I want to get from the dungeon. So after this kill, I'm going to gear back up for melee and go try to do that. Okay, I just confirmed max hit 5284, 5324. So I am now safe to idle this. It's like crazy slow because I don't have most of my good shit equipped. But I just need to get a couple clears here. I'm trying to get the upgrade to the earth layered shield. I'm probably not going to get any of the really lucky drops, but it would be cool if I did. After this first clear, I should have enough barrier god shards to upgrade one of my pieces, and this gives me a 1% chance to stun the enemy, so I'll probably do that and then let it AFK for a bit longer to get more shards. Yeah, so I need a regular pure crystal helmet. Unfortunately, I can't. I don't think I'm allowed to downgrade the one that I already upgraded earlier, right? There's no downgrade option, so hopefully I can just smith this without having to do any other content. Pure crystal helmet. Oh yeah, I could smith it trivially. Let me just try to maximize resource preservation. I only need to make one of them, so it's not really a big deal. All right, and then we do upgrade. There we go. Terran God Helmet C. So effectively, all that really gives me is a 1% chance to apply crystallization. And if I want to get it on all my gears so that it's a 4% chance. It's still not amazing, but it's an upgrade that I can pursue. All right, got the Devouring Shard. That was what I was here for. I think I would throw that on a passive. Let's see. All right, here we go. Devouring Barrier Shield. Throw that in my passive slot, I guess, but it does have 12% damage reduction, which is pretty cool. Oh, I guess it doesn't go in the passive slot. Oh, lesson learned. All right. Still pretty good, though, if I can do anything one-handed, I suppose. Should have enough barrier god shards after this clear to upgrade another piece into C, so I'm going to do that here in a second. Okay, so I need pure crystal boots. I'll make one of those real quick. Here we go, Terran boot C. Thank you. All right, and I don't think I have enough for, yeah, I need at least 3 for each of these. The plate body requires 10, nasty. The plate legs require 6, so I need to get up to 16. I guess I'll wait till I get to 6 and then upgrade the pants. Right, here's the pants. And I just need the plate body, which I need 10 shards for, so 8 more. Got the nullifying amulet. I don't think it's terribly useful. Chance to apply nulled protects you from buffs, but it's like a 15% chance. And it takes up the whole necklace slot, and it has no stats on it. So can't really conceive of an encounter where this would be particularly helpful. Okay, I think I have enough god shards now, if this thing will die. Oh, man, I started recording because he looked at you as one hit away and then he regenerated barrier. I should be able to make the final crystal upgrade here to the plate body. That's why I'm talking. There we go. Unequip. Cats are demanding to be fed. If you can hear them meowing in the background, that's what that is. Smithing. Pure crystal plate body. Okay. Here we go. Upgrade. Done. Fantastic. I have a full crystallized set. So I'm going to keep running this dungeon. It's pretty slow, but the pet is global interval reduction for attack, which is amazing. So I want the pet, and the eradicating gloves seem like they're incredibly OP when I can finally get them. So I'm just going to run it until I get both of those. Hey, I just got the eradicating gloves. Big upgrade. I don't think I can wear them here. Oh, they have 9% damage reduction. I will. Well, they're better than what I was previously wearing. They actually have really good stats. I thought it was just the eradication unholy prayer. Now, I don't know if that's actually going to be able to do anything because all of those stacks get depleted while I'm trying to deal with the barrier, question mark. Yeah, it might work on some enemies if the barrier dies fast enough, but it's like strictly better than the gear I was wearing before, so I will keep using it. What does eradicate do? Max hit up. Max hit increase for each 1% of target current hit points remaining. Okay, that seems pretty busted for non-barrier combat. All right, 6 hours of Underwater City. How'd it go? Use a number of clears, 59. We got the pet. Hell yeah, that's what I wanted to be here for. Sick. Okay, I don't know that I need to stay here, actually. I think I probably have enough god shards to make all the armor upgrades that I want. And I got the cleansing ring, so I have every unique too. Fantastic. So I can leave and go do something else. I guess what I'll do then is I'll finish this run, but then I'll go work on getting the mage drop, which is the merman, which I fight with ranged. Okay, do that. Interestingly, that means I have every pet from Atlas of Discovery except the Unholy Forest. So maybe at some point I'll AFK the Unholy Forest. Actually, no, I kind of just want to have all the pets, so I think I will go do the Unholy Forest. We'll see if I can AFK that for a few hours, if I get lucky. Be nice to not have to come back to any of these dungeons. I don't think I need anything from any of the dungeons now. I've gotten every AOD drop that matters. This was really a big one, the Eradicating Gloves, which are pretty much best in slot for all 3 combat styles, effectively forever, which is kind of cool. Oh, I can definitely turn in this task. That's kind of cool. Million Slayer coins, extra items I don't really need. Now I only need one more task, and I'll get it from the Grumpy Willow if I AFK this. So that'll be great. All right, 3 hours of Unholy Forest. Is that enough to get the pet? That's really the only thing I need from this place. It is. Very nice. Although I don't think I'm ever going to benefit from that because I don't know if I'm going to be using Unholy Prayers actively. I just felt bad to leave a pet behind. Is this done yet? Oh, wow. I still don't have 500 Grumpy Willow kills. I think I can just go fight it without having to do the whole dungeon. So I'd like to close that out. And the next thing I might work on is, where is the, like a doubling gem here somewhere? Yeah. I want to try to make this. The agile gem's really good, but this is a ton of buffs, and it includes a pretty substantial bonus to max HP and loot doubling. So I would need to get, I already have my 4 reduced hit points gems and my 10 barrier god shards. I have to get the rest of this stuff. So I have to figure out what I have to run to make that happen. Let me open these 292 unholy trees chests. All right, well, I guess I'm set on rings of malice now. That's nice. Easily swap around. I think that grudge amulet's pretty useless. Tree overgrowth, grumpy willow. Just AFK this for a little bit, and once this township task is done, then I'm all set and I can get all of the new tier 3 boxes. All right, that's the final task that I need to care about. I don't think I'm going to bother with tasks at all anymore. Can now get all of the box 3s except for the potion box 3 that requires hit points 120, but I feel like I don't actually want any of those. I think that basically everything in potion box 2 is significantly more desirable, like the damage reduction potions and the diamond luck potions. So I need to keep fighting this guy. I was thinking if I'm trying to get that combined super gem I was talking about, I probably shouldn't overnight it because a lot of these gems I should be able to do attentively. I feel like I'm going to overshoot it if I overnight it. So the thing that I can overnight is the merman. So I will just do that. That's in combat areas. Okay, let me gear up for that. Hold on. I guess since that's ranged, can I upgrade? I should be able to upgrade all of this stuff. I have to make a pure crystal helmet. And pure crystal boots? No, just the helmet. Okay. Missing pure crystal. Thank you. Should be able to make everything into C, and I could, if I sit down and make a ton of the barrier dust dragonite bars, I should be able to do it for the Glacia set and the Ragnar set, but not super urgent. Holy moly, I got the mermaid pendant, merman pendant. That dropped like immediately after I started grinding. I was just about to go to bed. So that's pretty cool. So this is an interesting item. It is, let's see. So no damage reduction, no special attacks. I don't want to use it with this bow. 20% attack interval down is kind of amazing though. 50% max hit up is great. 75% accuracy is great. Damage reduction down. So there's a couple things I would use this. I'm definitely going to use this for the goblins. Now I said I don't need to do the township task, but I would want to get the pet associated with the 42,000 goblins. So that's going to be perfect for that. I'm borderline like completely stacked for that. Like there's not too much else I can get that would even make the goblin grind faster, to be honest. So I kind of want to do the Impending Darkness event, not because I want to beat the base game, but because I just have 2 million Corundum arrows and I'd like to use them so that I know that I'm never going to run out of arrows. And 500,000 Augite arrows. And how many is it? 2.5 million divine arrows? I need 110 range for that, though, which is going to take a little bit longer to get to. I haven't prepared for Impending Darkness at all, but I think it requires a full gear set for all 3 combat styles, much like Into the Mist. So let me read about it really quick and try to get an idea of what I'm in for. All right, it's going to take me a second, but I'm going to compile a gear set for each combat style. Okie dokie. This is my gear setup. I've got melee, ranged, mage, pretty decent damage reduction across the board. Minimum is 44%. Also using the wasteful ring just because I don't know if this is going to be safe or not, and I'd rather not chance it. Yeah, it seems like it's a little tricky, and I don't want to get myself killed. So it's tempting to go in with protect item. But I think I'm just going to give it a shot. I'm going to switch to this pizza because I can use it to heal pretty quickly here. Save. Oh, dessert? Does he get a different potion for each of these? Using a critical strike potion. I think I would prefer to have recommend. Let me see what potion is recommended here. No, I think I'd rather have the diamond luck potion to make sure that I can clear it effectively. Okay. So yeah, I need to have a max cape and everything. I need to have the passive slot. It has to have a master slayer item because it gives me substantially more damage and a bunch of slayer area negation. I need to check, do I actually need... Don't think I actually need to have the slayer map. I think I already have 100% slayer negation from those 3 items. So if I look at dungeons and I look at impending darkness, I think I'm completely safe to just go for it. Out of an abundance of caution, let me throw on protect item. Hold on. All right, protect item is probably not necessary, but let's just go for it here. About to begin the event with the final boss. Lock all combat content until it's finished, you die, or is ended by you. Take 2 hours to complete depending on your gear setup. There's no way it's going to take 2 hours. The train non-combat skills. Close the game during the event and remember your progress upon returning. 5 cycles of chaos, mayhem, and death. Well, at least it warns me. Oh, right. I have to figure out which of these is the worst. So this is really bad. Let's see. So this one, apply frostburn, is not super undesirable. Max hit points is relatively desirable. Lifesteal is pretty undesirable. Affliction, probably not something we want. I think the max hit points is the least bad thing, so let's go ahead and take that. Oh, I see. And I can pick each of these to do. We do clear the mist. Oh, fuck. You have to purchase the map to the Unhallowed Wasteland to do that. Did I just spend all my... Oh, god damn it. I need to get 3 million Slayer coins to do that. I just spent all my Slayer coins on getting extra copies of these items to put in the passive slot. That's annoying. Well, stop the event. That's fine. I didn't actually start it. Okay, well, I guess I got to do Slayer. I can't auto Master Slayer anymore. It's not safe. Let me check if I can auto Elite Slayer. Okay, I've done the calculation. I think I am completely safe to idle the Elite Slayer. So I'm just going to do that Elite and let that run overnight. And hopefully that produces enough Slayer coins here that I'll be able to actually do Impending Darkness. That's pretty embarrassing. Kind of funny, though. Also, I just delete everything now with the combination of the Eradicating Gloves and the Ring of Malice. You just kind of load into combat, and by the time you see what's happening, everything's dead. It's kind of awesome. I don't think every enemy I'm fighting here even has enough damage reduction to justify Battle Heart, so I'll use this just to make it a little bit more likely to land hits here. Yeah, max hit 54k. Holy shit. This is pretty crazy. I just effortlessly one-shot every enemy. My max hit is double their health. That feels so nuts. This Eradicating Gloves plus Ring of Malice plus this whole setup is incredibly strong. All right, just let this run overnight. I'm gonna open these level 3 boxes really quick. That's a lot of really high quality food. I don't think I'll ever need to cook again, or woodcut again, or mine again. That's actually really good. Yeah, the iridium and palladium is going to be really good for a bunch of things later on. And I'm going to mix these all into tier 4 potions. All right, 7 hours of Elite Slayer tasks. Does that get me the number of coins I need? Yes. 16 tasks completed. Slayer 108. don't think any of these drops are particularly exciting. And none of it's stuff that I didn't already have, that's for sure. But now I can buy this guy. Okay. And do the Unhallowed Wasteland, and then I need prayer points soon. I've been dumping them, or I've been dumping Slayer points into prayer points, which is probably a mistake because I can get a ton from archaeology. Just don't want to run archaeology. I have enough to do this Into the Mist thing, but let me stare at the screen for a second and plan my next move because I have to reconfigure all my gear here. All right, I'm going to try to do this Into the Mist or Impending Darkness event thing one more time. Let me get my gear situated again because I have to move everything around now. All right, let's try this again. So I have all my gear sets. They look right. I've got the Wasteful Ring on everybody. I went ahead and equipped this thing, the Shimmering Oasis, which is even more auto-eat threshold. So my auto-eat threshold is pretty good, 65-22. Hopefully that's sufficient. I don't know if going that defensive is necessary or a good idea or whatever. I need to pull up the list of negative effects because some of them are really bad. Know what order I should take them in. But other than that, we're going to give it a try here. So start event, start. Slayer effects are stronger. Don't think really matters. I think I've already blown that out of the way. Damage reduction, not the biggest fan of. Hit points and max hit. Reducing the enemy max hit is actually pretty good because the 20k max hit points isn't that big of a deal. So I think we take that one. And then I believe we start with the Unhallowed Wasteland, and I have to be pretty quick to swap combat styles here whenever I see what the enemy is. That's melee. We want to do that with magic. Looking at the max hit displayed on the right, I think we're completely safe here. Make sure I have all the appropriate spells selected and all that fun stuff. I only think I have to kill like 8 enemies in each zone, which isn't too bad. But I think there's like a scorpion enemy or something in this particular zone who's especially dangerous. We want to be on melee for the worm. The attacks look fine as long as I'm on the right combat style. I have this sandwich in case I have to manually eat. Still on the worm. But I guess I'd rather run like shrimp. Don't want to manually eat if I don't have to. Age. I haven't done this zone at all. I literally just unlocked it, but I guess the enemies in there are pretty spooky. I think they're all Master Slayer tasks. I could probably get away with not using Protect item, but I don't really know what I'm in for, so I don't want to overly risk it. Okay, again. I guess I'll just record this whole encounter, may as well. I think the idea of it being all Slayer themed, I guess that when this event was originally released, you needed to have the max cape to access it, which I kind of wish they kept that. You still effectively need to be pretty high stats, so you need to have like 95 Slayer to do it. Garn Worm is melee. It says to expect this to take 2 hours, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to that. Oh, again? Go event passive. Did I break something? Hold on, let me try to figure out why it's not continuing. One sec. Oh, I guess I have to open the Slayer area again and then select the next one. So the next one is Dark Waters. Okay. Clear the mist. Melee, so we want to be magic. I think most of the Dark Waters enemies are pretty safe. It's really that Unhallowed Wasteland that's like crazy dangerous. And once we get out of the Dark Waters, I think we're pretty much completely safe from getting nuked here. Rockin is melee. I think he's pretty dangerous because his stun is really nasty, and the last enemy you fight of the set here gets like a pretty substantial buff, which makes him attack really fast. Means that he'll be able to hit you through stun, right? But I think my damage reduction is sufficient that he won't be able to kill me. Whereas magic, I haven't gotten a fight to do with ranged yet, which is kind of crazy. It's a cool concept, though. I like that it feels pretty different from Into the Mist, but sort of a similar theme. Dawn and Bora. Yes, I think the bit is we have to go through all 4 Slayer areas and then fight Bane as the boss. And then we have to do that several times after that. And I think Bane might require some manual eating. At least I'll have to pay attention to it. I think this Slayer section, though, I can get away without ever needing to manually eat. Yeah, so this is the Mist boss. It has max HP, damage reduction up, attack interval down, accuracy rating up. So I haven't fought any magic enemies. Okay, so that's our second group down. I guess we only build up passives as I defeat all 4 regions. Yeah, so now it's Shrouded Badlands is next. Clear the Mist. I think my stats are sufficient that I should be able to handle any of these. Like Curse Maiden can fuck up with ranged here. Tempting to take off Protect item, but I want to see what Bane is functionally like. A lot of these, like, there's so many items that if I lost, I think I would cry. So I don't really want to risk it. Chorus Spider. Okay. And I think the reason you want to fight them in reverse order is obviously you want to get the hard one out of the way, but you fight Bane in whatever area you land on, just in case there's any shenanigans about the Slayer effect, or the Slayer area effect. You don't want to be fighting Bane in an area with a really nasty effect. You do Perilous Peaks last because it's just a penalty to evasion, so who cares, right? Now I'm getting the mages. This is our Mist boss. Should be completely fine. I'm maybe a little worried about the Confusion Dragon. I think it'll be okay, but I won't be fighting with the Ultimate Greatsword, which is the one that would hit really hard. This is magic, so we fight it with ranged. Oh yeah, plus your max hit. Who cares? Magic. Ranged. I like that they recolored them. It looks cool. Melee. Magic. And I think it's going to warn me what combat style Bane's going to use. So I'll be able to, I have to fight it with the same combat style like in Into the Mist. But it'll give me a second to like move my gear around. I can like move the Fez if I wanted to. probably want to have the eradicating gloves on whatever style is going to be fighting Bane. That's the main thing I would change. And if I have to do this a bunch of times through, I won't make you watch all of it. I'll fight Bane. I'll come back when I get to Bane again, and then there's a final phase of Bane at the end. Now this one's the Mist Boss. All right, Bane time. He's magic elemental. Okay, so his max hits all seem fine. Although Fragile Mind with minus 30% damage reduction seems pretty bad. So I think we take the sandwich so I can manual eat if I have to. And we make sure I have this set as an auto equip in every thing here. God gloves. I think this is a substantial upgrade. It should make this go much more easily. I have to remember my auto eat threshold is 65, 20, 22, and he can still he can like put me to sleep, which seems really bad. Yeah, I think I need to make sure that I'm topped off here on health. And hopefully I can just delete him. Like, it's possible I'm going to do so much damage because I'm so stacked in gear that it's not going to be a problem at all, but it is a little stressful. All right, I just want to think if there's anything else I want to change other than the eradicating gloves. Maybe the agile gem instead. I think that's broadly preferable. It's sad I only have one of those. Slot for that. Okay. I think I'm as prepared as I'm gonna be, so let's fight him. He doesn't actually have that much health. And his chance to hit me is pretty high, so I might have to use Protect from Magic, but trying to avoid that at the moment. Oh, he gives himself a big regen. That sucks. Keep an eye on my auto eat threshold here. He's a little scary, if only because his he has so many ways to like stun you, and you're constantly building affliction stack, so it's really a DPS race. This seems to be going completely fine. I think he could definitely kill me if I got unlucky, but that went just fine. Shield of melee power. Melee max hit, chance to stun when hitting with a melee attack. Enemies have reduced damage reduction. I think that's pretty good. Okay. So max hit up, max hit points down. I think this just counters the one I took earlier. Doesn't directly counter it, but they work against each other. I'm gonna take that, or the Slayer effects are stronger because I think I'm like way past totally negating the Slayer effects. So I think I'm actually gonna take this just to avoid making the computer more powerful, you know? Right, and then I just have to do it again. I do it like 3 more times. So I'll report when I get back to Bane, I guess, or if something horrible happens. Really like the way the affliction mechanic prevents you from being able to cheese your way through any of this. You really have to have the overwhelming DPS to not get max stats. Oh shit, Cursed Lich. Swapped in time, should be fine. I think this is one of the most dangerous enemies in the entire event because he gets like a gigantic max hit if you're bleeding. I should be okay. Probably because of my increased auto eat threshold. But it was a little spooky. All right, let's do Dark Waters. No problem. Dark Waters is no issue. This should all just be free at this point, honestly. Last two zones are almost completely safe as far as I know. I think locking so much of the Throne of the Herald content behind completing this event is really smart because it just really guarantees that you have done everything you could possibly do in the vanilla game, and probably then some, since there's a lot of Throne of the Herald stuff like agility obstacles that can make you a little bit stronger for this, and obviously the higher max levels. Like I have 16 more max hit points levels than I would otherwise have. On our last miss boss for the second pass through, get Bane again. What style do we got? Ranged, that should be completely fine. I already have the eradicating gloves. Or I guess we already have the agile gem. Those are the main things I'd want to swap around, I think. Just making sure there's nothing else I should switch to. I'm already topped off. Let's have the sandwich ready to go. His base damage listed here seems fine. Immune to stun, freeze, sleep, curses, and slow. Okay. Go. I guess he can still be burned, which is good. This might actually be the best combat style to fight him with because the engulfing vortex bow is nuts. Like I think it might even be better than the UGS. It's not as flashy as the UGS. It's really, really good. Yeah, I'm like nuking him. If I ever had problems with this, I could just fish for ranged Bane. He's usually the hard one because usually you need to have Shockwave to fight him, and they just recommend that you retreat. Field of ranged power, range max hit, range crit chance. Okay, pretty good. Max hit added to min hit and heal 4% of current. Fuck that. No, never in a million years. Oh, I don't like any of these. These are all pretty bad. Damage reduction and global evasion, I guess, is tolerable but sucks. And I think the affliction's quite bad. So these are all bad, but this one is the least bad, even though it still sucks pretty bad. Okay, well, I got to do another round of this. I can see why they say set aside 2 hours. It's not going to take quite 2 hours, but it is pretty long. All right, Bane number 3 of 5. He rolled range, which I think is actually the optimal thing for me to fight. I think I can really fuck him up with range, so let's go ahead and do it here. Gotta watch my health. But I think this engulfing vortex bow just kind of like fucks him up, especially with the eradicating gloves. I think those two items in concert with each other are turbo busted. You can just see how he melts. It's great. Probably the main thing making this easier, other than a couple other expansion things. He does get a pretty substantial regen, but it's like my DPS is just keeping up with it. All right, that wasn't too bad. Shield of magic power. So I have to kill him 2 more times. Ignore slow effects and attack interval down. Is that? Actually seems like that's pretty not great. Max hit and accuracy rating up. Seems like it's fine. Max hit, attack interval, global evasion. See what my interval options here. Yeah, so that one's pretty bad. Slow effect is okay, but also kind of bad. I really don't want to take the max hit stuff, right? Because it puts me at greater risk of dying. But I guess so does the attack interval. I'm doing a lot of slowing. Max hit and accuracy rating. It says that one's fine. All right, I guess I'll take it. Doesn't make it slower for me to kill them, I guess, is the big valuable thing. All right, back to Shrimp and Unhallowed Wasteland. Ranged Bane again. I kind of wanted the last phase to be Ranged Bane, because I think he's by far the easiest, but okay, I'm probably still gonna mess him up here. He has more max hit now, so I probably need to be extra careful about watching for manual heals here. Okay, I think we're all good. Those I do like 40k damage in the very first salvo because of the eradicating gloves. They're really good. Comically good. I'm gonna watch his max hit numbers here. This is gonna give me the Ring of Power, which seems like it's pretty decent. Maybe a good thing to use in the passive slot. Max hit to min hit. Enemies have less damage reduction. Yeah, I'm probably not going to use it here. All right, so chance to ignore stuns and freezes and immune to sleep. I think that's actually the least impactful thing. I mean, I do have stuns and freezes and stuff. Yeah, let's just take that then. Okay, and this is going to be our last round. So I just need to survive long enough here. Hopefully Bane is okay. Here we go. All right, Unhallowed Wasteland cleared. It's one of the dangerous things is I could have gotten the Scorpion. The next thing I have to worry about is in Dark Waters if we get Rockin as the Mist boss. That's a pretty bad thing to have happen. Pretty tolerable as long as he's not the Mist boss, though, I think. Yes, not being able to stun, sleep, and freeze sucks, but it doesn't really matter because Bane's already immune to it, so it's probably the best modifier to take if the main concern you have is, can I beat Bane? Mist boss was Umbora, so I dodged the bullet there. I think we're pretty much almost entirely out of the woods. I don't think the other two Slayer areas are any risk at all, so the big problem is going to be Bane. He's basically the same boss. He has a little bit better stats, but he has an attack called Overwhelming Power, which is like a super fireball, like fire breath kind of attack that's constantly draining you. Normally, those aren't a problem because you just auto-eat through them. But I guess if he gives me a big damage reduction debuff and uses that, and I have a lot of affliction stacks, then it can melt me pretty quickly. So I might just have to sit and spam eat to be able to survive it. But these two regions should be completely trivial. This last perilous peak zone is like super easy, and this is actually a pretty substantial time commitment, so dying to the last boss would be kind of unacceptable. I might actually re-roll him until he's ranged, because it's pretty easy to just run this place over and over. I don't think there's even any risk of me dying if I forget to switch attack styles. The alternative of like just dying here with like the Ultima God Sword if it's melee does not sound like a fun time. He's magic. I think magic's actually my weakest combat style. Just funny because it's usually people's strongest. I think we click, you run away from Bane, and then you do Perilous Peaks again. Okay. I don't think I'll re-roll it again though. I don't think I need to be too obsessive about this. It would just be really nice if I get ranged because that engulfing longbow is so busted. Here. Melee. Melee's still pretty good. Reason he's dangerous is overwhelming power is already hitting for 4160, and that's without being fragile minded. So I think I really need to watch the max hit on that. I feel like I'm gonna regret this, but I should just go for it, right? Hold on, let me move my items over. My chance to hit is pretty terrible. Oh man, I think I need to switch this over to this guy. That's actually completely safe because it's still minus 0% evasion rating. Okay, that helps a little bit, 41%. Could be better. Can I get even better if I use, I think I've got kind of fancy ancient whetstone. I normally wouldn't use that, but if the stakes are pretty high now, it would be nice to hit a bit harder. So chance to hit isn't as good, but it helps the max hit more. Okay. I'm just gonna go for it. I just go for it. I'm gonna use these Mystic Sharks that I got from the Food Box 3 because they're gonna completely top me off no matter when I pop them. And I'm just gonna try to be careful and heal. All right, let's go for it. Kind of fucking him up right now, though he did just mist walk himself, which is a pretty substantial increased healing. I have to scroll all the way down to see his attacks, unfortunately. Fragile Mind didn't land. Definitely opening with Eradicating Gloves made a pretty big difference there. Oh, we got him. It's completely fine. What was I stressed about? Okay, you have defeated Bane. You found a book. Bone. Gives the enemy -1 damage reduction. That's quite good. Okay. I'll probably read these lore books at the end. There's a lot of text. For a game that has like no text, there's a ton of text all of a sudden. So maybe once we finish all the expansions, I'll review that. Yeah, we did it. That's really cool. So now I can finally equip everything that says that it's restricted by access to Impending Darkness. So that the reason I did that, what a weird candy loop, was so that I could equip these stupid corundum arrows. So I guess I'm gonna go back to trying to get the mage drop from this merman, but let me move all my gear back around and make sure I'm prepared for that. Hold on. I'm still going to do the merman, but now I technically have access to this jungle labyrinth, which I think I have to do. I have to get all these labyrinth clues. Don't think any of these drops are useful. Some of them are like skilling drops that would have been nice before I got to 120 and everything else, but that's okay. Yeah, I'll probably start working on these new Slayer areas, but first let's get this the staff. Should be completely safe. Yeah, I'm not gonna get killed. Okay, I'll let this AFK for a while. There's a task for killing Bane. That's cool. Me a million Slayer coins back. Go ahead and pop those. Decide when it's best to use these. I mean, the effects are pretty good. Enemies have -5% damage reduction is quite strong. A lot of the time. 10% range crit chance. Yeah, I still think that my current setup, at least for barrier combat, is better. Like, I really want to get my summon attacking as frequently as possible, because that is really the thing that bottlenecks me killing this guy. I missed that I had a couple of these shop unlocks here, so I can get... This guy just cost me money. It's basically free. I don't know if I want to sink 2 million Slayer coins on this. I'm not going to use these dig site map slots. Like, it's excessive to even have the number of slots you start with. But I technically qualify for it. It's neat. Hey, I got the drop. I think I'm pretty underrate again. The game's making it up to me for being so dry on every stronghold. Let's see, monsters. That's the way to check it, right? Yeah, 969 kills, and I got both the merman pendant and the staff, so that's pretty cool. I need to pick what my next activity is going to be now. I think this is quite a bit better than the Cloudburst staff. It's basically always guaranteed to hit, which is cool. So it means I don't need to use the Diamond Luck potion with it. I can do like the Critical Strike potion or something. I can now do Throne of the Herald stuff, so I think that's what I should do. I should try to do the Jungle Labyrinth and get pieces together in order to fight the first Throne of the Herald dungeon. I guess since I'm already geared for ranged, maybe we'll fight the Poison Toad. Let me check how hard it hits. Hold on. All right, with my health values, I should just be able to handle it. No problem already. So let me change my gear out a little bit and we'll go do that. So I probably want Slayer gear here. And let's go ahead and put on this in the passive slot rather than that. It'd help decent amount. Slayer areas, jungle labyrinth, poison toad. I guess here the base percentage chance for area effect negation is higher. So even if you previously were able to completely nullify the effect, you really can't anymore. But yeah, I fucking delete this toad. That's really crazy. That's a combination of the eradicating gloves and the ring of malice. It's pretty sick. And it looks like it's no threat to me at the moment. I only really need to fight this guy until I get the labyrinth clue. So I just need to get 5 labyrinth clues from all the different Slayer monsters. Kind of a cool way to set up each dungeon. It just occurred to me that Throne of the Herald, or not Throne of the Herald, but Impending Darkness is probably a really good ending for a VOD. So I'm going to split the VOD here. a little bit past it, and I'll resume in a second. Maybe in the next episode. I don't know how these are going to edit together from your perspective. I have no idea how many hours they are when combined.